Yo, what up, internet? It's the one and only legend of winning, aka Low. We back with another episode of the quarantine and chill. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here has been crazy. But peer-to-peer podcast. I'm here with my
esteemed colleague, Agent Zero. Hey guys, how are you? We have reached 1,000 5 stars on iTunes. Apple Podcasts. So that's love right there. Appreciate that.
Almost didn't have the honey in the frame.
Oh, you had to add the honey in the frame.
Gotta have the honey.
There's no doubt about it, man.
That's a fact.
If you guys are listening on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, welcome. If you guys are on YouTube, definitely subscribe. You can find the video version of the podcast if you're watching on YouTube.
Facts, big facts.
Lo, it's good to see you, man.
And you talking about Noti?
The aux cord.
And you talking about Noti gang.
Oh yeah, you
just messed up. You just missed half of the supporters,
That's my fault.
man.
I apologize about that.
Low key though, it can't be that many aux cords because everybody's staying at the house.
Yeah,
that's tough. Yeah. But Noti gang still alive and well. I see y'all on Twitter. Yeah, Noti gang definitely. They show us love on Twitter all the time. As soon as the podcast drops. Come on. You always got to shout out Noti gang. You know what I'm saying? You always got to shout them out.
You're so cringy,
man. Come on.
You're so fucking cringe.
Don't ever forget about my people like that, all right?
First of all, I'm fucking with your drip today, man. You know, you got the gray sweats and the...
You know what's crazy? I'm just going to do something weird to the point where I might just literally buy outfits for the podcast.
We should do that, yeah.
The same way... No. I'm gonna...
I already have a bunch of outfits. I just put them on.
This is my thing. The same way I do on a
I have one for the next part already. All right, bet.
But the same thing I do for like the Moments videos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
cool.
the same thing.
All right, bet.
So what you been doing, man?
Man, I've been chilling. So yo, check it out. Nah, since we are quarantined, I was like, I might as well make the best of this and improve on myself. Mm-hmm. So I was working on myself.
Okay.
I was in the kitchen cooking up and everything, man. I was supposed to, me and we were supposed to do something, but he went out with Peter to shoot in the forest instead. So I was just home bored as shit, and I just got done watching Netflix, and I already had a video recorded. So I started to cook. Mm-hmm. Now, I was getting real excessive with the washing my hands thing to the point where, like, if I touched anything, I'd want to go back and wash my hands before I continued cooking. So I was in the middle, like, just doing rotations.
You know, there's no...
I know.
The virus isn't in here because we definitely would have caught it by now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
so anyway, so I touched something and I was too fucking lazy for the 12th time to wash my hands. And keep in mind, I haven't even started cooking yet. Oh. So I have the oil on the pan. You know, I dropped the coconut oil on there. Shit is on high. And I was like, fuck it. I just took the wrapper that the patty came with and fucking threw it like this. For no reason, bro, other than the fact that I didn't want to wash my hands and just place it. And
something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with me. And then the oil just went, and one line of oil just went from like my left nostril down to like my top lip. And my whole face just went, whoa, what the fuck? Like I just jerked back. And I was like, no, I didn't just burn my face. I did not just burn my face. Because, burns, they take sometimes years to get rid of. I was like, fuck. So part of my mind was thinking like, oh, wow, this is a good problem. Because it's getting my mind off of the looming anxiety and death revolving this pandemic. Mm-hmm. So it's getting my mind off of it. So I was like, fuck, I actually don't know how to deal with the situation. I pulled out my phone and I just started
to go to the mirror first to see how bad it was?
No, I first pulled out my phone. Well, first I washed it off.
Something is wrong.
I washed it off. And then so Google was telling me you have to run water on it for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, it's on my face. So I kind of have to, like, it was an angle. I had to get my face in an angle just to get the water to run on it. But I only did it for like 5 minutes and I was like, fuck, okay. So then I started to call people because I was like, maybe people know. You know, I just called a few people to see like what advice they'd have. Some people, I even put it on.
Your face ain't really burnt. You're making it seem like.
Oh, no. I don't think you saw me the days where it was there. It was like a black line, going down my face.
Because I saw it the first when I came here.
No, the first day wasn't bad. The second day it swelled up like crazy.
I'm not saying the first when we did the podcast and you had something on your lip and I was like, what is that?
No, trust me, you haven't seen it. So if you was on my Instagram, you could see a little bit of it when I did like the push-up challenge. Okay. But I tried to hide it because low-key shit looked horrible. And then I realized very quickly, your lip is actually the worst place to be burned. Because it's 1,000,000% more than anywhere. Because I got 3 burns right here, but I don't care too much about these. They're going to go away in like a few months. But my face, especially my lip, I was like, oh nah. So then
that would be the meme of the next. It would be the quarantine meme. everybody in the quarantine be like, remember that time when Agent had a black line across his face?
And it was 100% my fault. So I couldn't get mad at nobody but myself.
There's utensils, right?
I know.
You just
but for some reason, the dishwasher was full and not clean. So, and I was like, man, what the fuck? So I didn't really
just get a fork.
There's plenty of shit I could have done.
Plenty of things.
Yeah,
plenty of things.
So that's why the honey's there, is because I read online that it's good to put honey on it. Mm-hmm. And I also read online that it's good to put toothpaste on it. So the first night I put toothpaste on it and it swelled up like crazy. And so I did 2 different strategies. Yeah. On my nose area, it kind of looked like a big booger. It was really disgusting. So I peeled it off. But in my lip area, I was ultra careful. I didn't do nothing to it. I just put like toothpaste and let it sit for the night. You know what I mean? And then I just found out that if I just put Vaseline on it and let it sit, eventually when I wash my face, if it comes off, cool, but I'm not gonna rip it off. But my nose is better now. You can't really see it too much on my nose. And unless I smile or something, but I have Vaseline on right now, so you can't really. Anyway, long story short, in a matter of 3-4 days, I took a potentially horrible situation that took my mind off, quarantine. And I saved it, man. What can I say?
I want you all to just pause and think about everything he just said. First of all, everything looks crazy because you know what it looks like to me?
What?
First of all, there's a hair clip here. And
it's been there since time, though.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Because what it looks like is the conversation we had last podcast.
About?
I said putting stuff on my body and having somebody lick it off. There's honey here now. And now I see a hair clip. I'm like, all right, I see what's going on when I walk up in here. I see what you're doing.
Word.
But it was your whole. That's the dumbest thing I think.
I know.
One of the dumbest. No,
and I was so pissed that I was like, man, fuck the kitchen. So the past few days I've just been eating fast food. And so I went.
None of that. Literally, your extremes make no sense.
I know, but for me, like cooking is like it's like a vibe. You know what I mean? And the vibe is fully thrown off when the last experience I had cooking was me potentially permanently ruining my face.
But it had nothing to do with the kitchen.
No, it wasn't the kitchen's fault.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you?
But
going
that's just the vibe I'm getting from the kitchen right now.
Every single time you walk in or pass a mirror, you should be like, man, fuck Agent. That's what you should be saying.
I know. But hey, listen, I recovered. It's barely noticeable now. Hopefully, like it's gonna be fully gone, in a week. I got these little marks right here.
It looks like your lip gloss is popping right now. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So you can see actually Vaseline goes up to my nose. So you can see it like on my nostril area. I just thought
you were sweating on your nose, but yeah.
Nah, that's Vaseline right there, man. So just in case you guys get burned in the future, do not tear it off by any means. It actually heals. Oh, that's not obvious. Because I thought about it and I was like, should I? And everyone was like, no, do not. But if it's wet, it heals faster. So don't let it dry up and turn into a big scab. Yeah. Keep it wet, keep Vaseline on it. And when you go to sleep, put a lot on because it's going to dry overnight.
Just sit on it, yeah.
And then in a few days, the shit will heal. And hopefully there's no scarring depending on how bad it was. But it was a second degree burn. It was a second degree deep burn. So there's potential that it could have been like, but I recovered like I always do.
So you second degree burned yourself.
Myself being retarded for no reason, for no reason. So...
I'm sincerely amazed that nothing crazy has happened in that kitchen.
Yeah, it's actually so far it's been a miracle.
Yes, so the amount of times like either the oven or the gas has just been left on, or the amount of times just some like random stuff is just left on the counter. I'm amazed nothing crazy is not happening in that kitchen.
Yeah. No, we're just real safe. That's what it is.
No. No.
Okay, maybe not real safe.
I thought you were gonna say you wash your hands and then you like splash your hands on the oil and it popped back on you.
Oh, no.
I was like, yeah.
But I realized, so there's some things like burgers where it's better to cook it when it's sizzling. You don't want to have it on mid. But also you have to be.
That's not.
Yeah. You
think you're a better cook than me? No. I'm saying is that's not everybody. Like a lot of people should know that. You don't cook it until like the oil or whatever.
Yeah. But the problem is you had to put a lid on it. But for most of the pots we have, there's no lid. So I just have like a makeshift lid.
What's so crazy? I was making I'm making like beef and pasta last night, and I noticed that too. I had to like get a huge pot to just put the lid on it so it can simmer for a second.
You used a huge pot as a lid?
I had no. I cooked it on the pan. I was like, you got it. I know we didn't all just buy pans with no tops on them.
The lids just disappear, man.
Either the lids disappeared, or that's how whoever bought them like that. And so then I had to still had to simmer it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just get some aluminum foil. No foil. So then I'm like, all right. So then I got this huge ass pot that the only top fit on just to let it simmer like that, man. Crazy.
Very crazy.
When you do that though, when you just transfer from one pan to another pot, you got to heat the pot up first.
Yeah, I don't need no fucking tips, bitch.
You're sitting here saying nah. You're not a better.
Just because I burn myself doesn't mean I need tips from you. All right. Honestly,
you need tips from anybody who burn yourself like that.
It's wild how many like potentially horrible situations I've had in my life where the best case scenario happened.
I literally almost drowned. That's like the worst case scenario I almost had.
Is this recent?
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck you're up to in the basement.
Where am I drowning in the basement? There's no water.
There's a pool nearby. You never know. Oh my God. That's so unfortunate.
How did it happen?
I don't know. Oh my fuck. I saved it. Why would it do that?
It did the automatic reset.
Yo!
Windows does that.
Hold on. That's the most out-of-pocket shit I've ever seen Windows do.
Windows does that a lot. Where they'll just sit there.
I've never, in the middle of Adobe Audition recording, it was like, now's the time to just reset.
I've literally been, how I record downstairs and it's in like for people out there on the, nobody doesn't know because it's on your computer. This man literally recording in Windows. The whole computer must reset it on him
for no reason.
Literally, when I be recording,
it didn't ask me, by the way.
No, I know.
It just that. Now's the time. Let's do it.
I one time it probably prompted me when I was sleeping, and I didn't click it or anything, so I just woke up and I start recording in Audacity. I go in the other room to record.
Yeah.
I'm literally recording, and then I kind of like pause and kind of pace around a little bit, think what I was gonna say next, and I turn around. And the light on my thing was off. My mic was off.
Oh,
I was like, why would that? So I'm thinking like, did I just unplug it? And I looked outside and the whole thing is just like restarting. I'm like,
Windows
why would it
like,
do
now's
that?
The time. Yeah.
It's like, nah, you're not doing nothing important right now. So yeah, we're gonna make the decision for you to restart.
I hate that. So Walid remembers when I got some new. There was a time where there was a Windows update that was so thoroughly broken that each PC of mine, my laptop and the two PCs I had at the time, every time I tried to update to it, it just the BIOS, it would be stuck in the BIOS. So it wouldn't actually start up. It'd just be stuck in the starting up phase.
Yeah.
And I went through the most amount of, Walid remembers it. There was a 4-day period where I didn't upload, and at the time that was the longest I went. Yeah. And it's because all my computers were going through it. And so I just reset my computers. Luckily, I was able to go into safe mode and do all that shit. Yeah. And there's like 16 different things you have to do to your computer to make Windows not update. It's scary how much they force the update. It's scary. Watch a tutorial on how to stop Windows from updating.
I've seen videos like that.
You have to change a lot of settings to get them to stop. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you said you almost died swimming.
Oh yeah, so that was the most dangerous thing. Not swimming. No. It's just like
I think everyone's had that experience where they almost died in the ocean or a lake.
This is a river.
Whoa! What are you doing in a river?
Hold on. I was canoeing.
Of course. What else could you be doing in the river?
That's the reason why I don't do outside activities. As a quick no hiking, no camping, no none of that.
Was it like the white water rafting one, the one with like the rapids and the shit is moving quick? You talking about that one?
Not like that. Not to that extreme. No.
You almost died in a calm river?
No, I mean obviously it wasn't calm enough to where it was moving, but the way you making it seem like I'm just like ducking rocks and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I forgot what it's called, but it's a sport where it's
just No, not to that extreme, but it wasn't obviously it wasn't a calm river either. So yeah, it was just
a static river, and you're like, ludicrous. I can imagine you.
That would be ridiculous. But the part isn't that it was like it wasn't that it was a lot of it wasn't like it was a lot of like rocks or it was moving. The water was moving fast. That wasn't the problem. The problem is when you get into those things. Like the way that you're sitting, you're legit sitting in it.
I know.
And the way that it comes up to you, like you're in there, and the only way you can move out is like if like when you freeze and you're like lifting your body up. So it's me and somebody else, and we're in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're going through the motions.
Yeah. And then we hit like this. It's not like there's a few rocks, but ain't nothing crazy. But to the point where we can like clearly see it, kind of like do like a little downward slope.
For sure.
So I'm young. I have to be at least like 12 years old. 12, 13 years old. We're doing that. We hit to the rocky little part, and we go down. And I don't know what happened. It might have been my fault. I'm pretty sure it is.
Was it with your family or like a event?
No, it was with a church outing or something like that.
Okay, cool.
We go down it, hit the rocks the wrong way. and the whole canoe flip over.
Oh shit!
So I'm literally like this.
Yeah.
I'm just underneath.
Oh, and you're stuck.
And I'm stuck.
Oh.
So I'm stuck long enough to where I'm like, Dad, this is it. Like there's like I'm like thinking to myself, like the water is shallow enough for me to actually touch the ground and kind of push up, but obviously it's water and it's canoe, so I can't really push up. And I'm like, oh man, I'm really stuck down there long enough to be like, yeah, this is it right here.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way I'm getting out of this. And so then the person I was with, if I was by myself, I probably would have died. The person I was with though, he was able to get out and then pick it up and get me up under it.
Jesus.
But I literally freaked out for like a good second, like, whoa, like there's no way I'm getting out of this. I'm done.
And in water, I know this because I just swam for the first time in forever, like 2 weeks ago. And if you freak out underwater, you actually lose your breath in like 2 seconds. It's scary how fast you lose it. Like when I
didn't freak out that much.
Like
I was just at peace with it. I was like,
like you have to know to be calm and not immediately go, because as soon as you lose all your air, it's a wrap.
It was so scary because I was dead ass hit me, and I was like just touching the ground. I was like trying to push up. I was literally thinking to myself like, what if I could just like push myself up? But I was like, and as soon as I tried and I couldn't work, I was like, oh well, that's not gonna work. So this is it.
That's tough. That's a tough way to go, my guy.
So that's the most scariest thing I've ever had. I never got burnt though. I don't think I've ever gotten.
You will if you cook long enough.
I've cooked.
No, I mean like because my mom cooked every day for like 30 years. And so you would eventually get burned like every once in a while.
But okay, maybe because we work on gas. But no, you burned yourself with the oil because
I was being stupid. My mom was actually careful, and
she just cannonballed a patty into a pot of
oil. And I didn't get out the way neither. I was like, it's gonna be all right.
Oh man.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know if I told the story on the pod. I definitely made a video out on my YouTube channel. Do you remember when me and Waleed went to Detroit? I think I told you about this.
I know we all went to Detroit for the whole event. I don't know what.
Yeah, we got invited to. I forgot what event it was, but Ben Wallace was there, and it was like some 2K tournament. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's pull up. They didn't pay me. They just, and usually like to go up to an event like that, I'd be like, yeah, pay me. But that event, Troy Dan was going, and I was like, fuck it, there might be some good content. And it was being recorded at the Pistons Arena. I forgot what it's called, Little Caesars or something.
The new one is Little Caesars, but the old one was called something else.
Yeah, so
the Palace, I think.
I think when we first got there, that was the first year. It was called Little Caesars.
Oh, okay.
So me and Willie drove there. Toronto to Detroit is a 4-hour drive, and it's across the worst border. The Detroit border is like they don't actually use their brains. Actually, no, I flew because they got me a flight, and Waleed was like, "Fuck it, I'll go." And Waleed's down for anything, so Waleed ended up driving. So I got into the airport in Detroit. You know, I got out, and it's actually a 4-hour flight and a 4-hour drive because all the time waiting, going through TSA, it takes 4 hours anyway. I was like, fuck it, gave me a flight. I ideally should have went with Waleed anyway. Yeah. So Waleed gets to the border, and they see the DSLR. It's not for work, it's not for nothing, but when they see a big camera, they just immediately assume like, oh, this guy's a professional. Doesn't matter if it's like an entry level, they can't tell the difference. So they immediately assumed that I was there for work, and I told them like I wasn't getting paid. There was proof of that. And Waleed got stopped at the border, and they literally fingerprinted him and everything. Yeah. So Waleed waited, tried to come back, and they rejected him again. And so I was like, man, fuck. And keep in mind, we went there a day early. So we were just supposed to chill in Detroit for that day. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go chill with Waleed on the Canadian side of the border, and we'll cross the next day. Or we might just go home and say, fuck this whole event. I'm not getting paid for it anyway. I didn't really sign shit. They just gave me flight and hotel. Yeah. And in Detroit, that's mad cheap because nobody goes there. Okay. So I took this taxi to go back to the border, to go back to the Canadian side to link with Waleed because he was driving. And so when I got there, when I was in the taxi driver, and keep in mind, my dad is a taxi driver. I know how this shit operates. And it was weird the way he was operating. So first of all, you're legally, at least in Toronto, you're not allowed to have a person with you in the car when you're a taxi driver. So if my mom wanted to ride with my dad, they legally were not allowed to do that. But the dude that was driving was there with a woman that was his age. I just assumed that was his wife. And he was like, hey, how are you going to pay? And I said, I'm going to pay by card. And so he's like, all right, can I get that? In the middle of the ride. So I was like, okay, that's eerie. It's not like that in Toronto. But there's differences, you know, in United States and Canada. Like, for example, when we go to restaurants, they bring the machine to us. It would be wild for them to take our card and go somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
that's common here.
Yeah, I get that, but not in the middle of the ride though.
Yeah, so that was, but I didn't know if that was just a custom I wasn't used to. So I gave him my card, but then he had it for like 3 minutes. So I was like, well, fuck, the card is compromised now. And I think he said something like I couldn't pay with that card. But in my mind, I'm like, he probably took photos or something of the front and the back. He had it for minutes and I don't know what he was doing. And I was asking for it back after like 2 minutes went by. I was like, hey, do you get what you need? Like I was trying to prompt him to, but he was like, yeah, you can't pay with this card. So I was like, okay, just drop me off at this gas station and I'll get you some cash. And I didn't think it was going to work because Canadian credit cards are actually hit or miss with ATMs. It's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to accept it. It worked. So I got cash and I gave him the cash and I got dropped off at the border. The thing is, he actually can't cross the border with me because he didn't have a passport. Yeah. So he just dropped me off at the nearest station. And there's like duty-free places where you can buy like things like wine or whatever that's incredibly marked up, but you can legally cross the border with it without having to. When you cross the border, you have to say what you're bringing with you. Mm-hmm. But the duty-free stuff, you don't have to say that. Okay. So it's a way for both American side and Canadian side to make money selling high-priced shit for no reason.
Okay.
So when I got there, I immediately called my bank and I was like, cancel my card, which turned into a tragedy months later because I didn't realize how many payments I was using that card for. And it fucked up my credit. I dropped like 30, 40 points because I forgot to make my gas payment. And that was only like $120 and it was with that card. Anyway, it was a tragedy just because you can't walk across the border. You have to get a car. Mm-hmm. So I had to find a taxi driver that was willing to drive me over. And you have to tip them extra because legally they're not supposed to do that for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So anyway, I paid a dude extra and he, after 15, 20 minutes, because he might, I canceled my card now and I was looking for ATMs and some of them are hit or miss. I didn't really know how I was going to get past the border.
Okay.
And if here I'm freaking out, hours went by, Waleed's wondering what's going on that end and my phone is about to die. I just canceled my credit card. Fuck, what am I going to do? Eventually I find the guy, he brings me on the Canadian side of the border. I link with Waleed and we're both like, fuck it. Me and Waleed do stupid trips all the time. We know when to call it quits on a trip. Yo, just send me back to Toronto. There's 2 Facebook streams I haven't done. I might as well get the money for those streams instead of, sitting here on Windsor, which is the Canadian side of the Detroit border. And there's nothing there except for a university. That's it. So we drove back. 4 hours. We got to my house. I did 2 Facebook streams. Made my good money. But then the next morning, I was like, Waleed, fuck it. Let's just go to Detroit. I did all my obligations. I had my videos ready. I did my streams. Like, let's drive back to Detroit. Boom. 4 hours to Detroit. And this time it was a blizzard. The blizzard was starting. Now, I don't know if you've ever drove in a blizzard before.
No.
But your car hydroplanes a lot. And this was back when I had my Honda. So it means like, let's say like
I know the hydroplane.
I'm just explaining for the people. Let's say there's this much snow, right? Usually it was in between lanes. Because on your lane, people already like this. It's just slush.
Well, yeah, they push hard down.
But in the middle of the lane, when you're changing lanes, you're gonna hit patches of full snow that hasn't been moved yet. Which is why pickup trucks are a blessing in situations like that. Because most cars rely on big cars to kind of push all that shit down. Mm-hmm. Anyway, on the way there, about 20 times the car slipped. And you just had to be like alert enough to catch the wheel every time your car hydroplanes. I had low profile tires, which made it a little bit more dangerous. And I don't even think I had winter tires on at the time. Even if I did, it was horrible conditions. We made it to Detroit. Troy was there. We recorded a video.
I vividly remember the video itself.
Yeah. And I met Ben Wallace there too. First of all, tall as shit. Second of all, he doesn't feel like Ben Wallace without an afro.
Yeah.
Third of all, he was like, he used to tell me about some of the businesses he was into. And I think I still have his number, to be honest. I just never texted him. But it was very odd. I forgot. He had like a remote controlled car racing league business. That's a thing.
I know it's a thing, but I'm imagining 6'9" Ben Wallace handling a small remote control car, getting mad hype because he's trying to, outrace somebody.
Yeah, so it was a small event. There was like maybe 20, 25, 30 people there. Most of them knew who I was. But I spent the time just networking and talking and chilling. And we got a chance to shoot around in the arena too, which I guess was kind of cool. So all of that's done. It's night and it's time to go back. And keep in mind, they gave Waleed a lot of trouble because he was stopped last time. Yeah. So now for the next year and a half, Waleed was put on a list because he got rejected at the border. And so every time he flew anywhere to the United States, he actually had to spend like an extra hour or so for extra questioning because of this Detroit trip. So when we're going back, we're heading back home, it's full blizzard mode now. And I mean, and keep in mind, from Detroit to Toronto, they don't really pave the roads ever. So it's just like, you kind of just, because it's just empty 4-lane highway.
At the time, this is the reason why I don't go with y'all anywhere. Because everything you're saying, I would literally be in the back annoyed as hell about the decisions that y'all made. Because I definitely would have been like, I'm not going back to Detroit. Like, it's done. It's done already.
So, we're furious about the situation. The Detroit border guys don't know their own laws, giving us trouble. And we went back and forth. There was a lot of driving. So we're finally headed home.
Okay.
In the middle of the drive home, it's pitch dark. There's not a lot of lights out. And snow fucking everywhere. I was going the speed limit, which by the way is too fast in a blizzard.
It's too fast normally in a really bad rain.
Especially with low profile tires.
Yeah, no.
And I learned my lesson that day. So after it was 40, 45 times of the car hydroplaning, boom, catch the wheel. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's no danger here. I'm always catching it. I can stay at the speed limit. I don't have to worry about slowing down.
Oh my God.
So out of nowhere, this 18-wheeler truck turns into the left lane. Keep in mind, it's 2 lanes. Well, why are you moving to the left lane? A man was cheese. So I moved to the right lane, going the speed limit. But again, that's too fast.
Yeah.
My car hydroplanes and immediately skips out. And Waleed is like dozing out on the right in the passenger seat. So he's not paying attention. And this was unlike any other one because there was no opportunity for me to regain control. I lost it. So it was only a matter of controlling where I'm going as I'm losing it. So immediately the car spins right, and right is like oblivion. There's no highway, there's no railing. You're just gonna go into the dark abyss, and I had no idea what was there. There's no lights. To the left of me now is an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
So the car moves right, I flip it to the left, and then I could fucking see my life flash before my eyes as I almost go underneath this truck and get fucking rolled over. And I immediately just took my wheel, whipped it off the highway because I didn't know what was there, but it was better than under this truck. And I don't know how to explain how perfectly things went, but we hit the most beautiful, perfect angle. Landed in a snowbank, no hood damage, no car damage, no engine damage. Our car was just stuck. And so when we flew off the highway, it was like, and Waleed at this point is fully alert. And he's looking at me just ready to rip me apart because he's like, I told you to stop going that fast. And so inevitably, after going off the highway, keep in mind, now we're in the middle of nowhere, boom, we just hit a snowbank.
Yeah, okay.
And we just sit there for like 10 seconds. Waleed looks at me and goes, what the fuck did I tell you? And so we get out and it's like knee deep snow because it's been a blizzard now for almost a day. And we look, the car is in perfect condition. The car is running. It's just stuck.
Yeah.
So all it took was $150. We got a tow truck to pull us out. It took him like 45 minutes to get there. And it was in the middle of nowhere, so it took him a while.
But 45 minutes is still straight though.
Yeah, it is for the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know which directions to give him. We're just like, look for the lights off the highway, like on the right side of the highway. And it worked out, and it was at that day I realized I know this is not the moral I should have gotten. The moral should have been be more careful, but the moral I learned was I'm buying a new car with some safety features.
Jesus Christ.
And so literally a month later, I got my Mercedes because I was fucking sick of the Honda. It was a very inherently dangerous car. It was a lot less
especially
safe.
When you were driving,
especially in a blizzard, especially with the low profile tires.
I hydroplane too though. My story isn't as crazy as that, but
it happens sometimes here just because the sewage system is so bad. They're like when it rains here, there's a lot of rain, so it happens to me sometimes too.
Actually, I don't know why, but it's like there's on the highway going towards like the city.
Yeah,
and like maybe like 2 or 3 exits from where we're at right now. On the left side.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've never seen that before in my life.
It's ridiculous.
As long as I've lived here, I've never seen something that like it's like almost like a lake is just sitting in the middle of the highway, and I'm like, why is that even there? Why do y'all not already have like just drill holes in the middle of the ground so you can just go somewhere else?
Yeah,
and it's just sitting there to the point where people don't even drive in that lane.
Yeah, I
just
go over for sure.
But yeah, that time we went to the movies, like we watched Lion King.
Yeah.
So when it was raining like that. Roughly around, if not worse, around something like that though, when it was just raining really bad. I was driving and I had a 97 Toyota Camry. It was actually my first car. 97 Toyota Camry, mad miles on it. Definitely don't have good tires on it because this is back before I was popping on YouTube, and I was trying to get to work and I was running late. So I'm like, I'm pushing it. I'm not going the speed limit because I'm on the highway. I'm definitely not going 60, but I'm definitely going faster than everybody else. So I'm getting to this point where I'm about to be ahead of like the crowd of traffic on the highway.
Yeah.
And I get to it, and I'm like, all right, if I get to this point, I can kind of speed up a little bit and get ahead of everybody. And so when I'm there, I don't have to like worry about like constantly ducking around people. I'll just be in a subsection of the highway by myself. So I get there and I push it just a smidge.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a smidge. And I'm on the far left. I hydroplane and I spin.
In the middle of the highway?
In the middle of the highway.
Oh my God.
Where there's literally nobody else. Just like I'm driving, spin, and I dead ass had to have done a 360. I did at least one complete turn. Did a complete turn. I think I did maybe a 720. Whatever I did, I turned around completely and it was kind of sort of facing the traffic behind me and everybody stopped.
They're like, man, what the fuck?
So then I was like, to the point where if it wasn't raining as hard as it was, I could probably see the people look at me just like, what is this nigga doing right now?
Yeah. And
I just whipped it and just kept pushing.
Word. Nah.
and again, it didn't mess up. It just literally kept going.
I had some moments like that, but I was drifting and I just
no. It was scary because I was like trying to kind of gather the wheel.
Because there's nothing really you can do until your car reaches the ground again.
Yeah.
If the car doesn't reach the ground again, you're going to continue sliding till it does. But the lucky thing now, the thing is, first of all, good tires. Wow, what a difference. But now not only do I have really good tires, top tier tires, I also have the widest wheel imaginable. So I have so much grip. Even though my car is pretty low profile right now, my M4, I rarely hydroplane. But still, I learned from my lesson. Yeah. You will catch me going on the right side of the highway, the slowest car on the highway when it's raining. But that's the reason
why when we were driving to the movies,
you almost lost. Like there was a couple times where I was like, I don't know if he has full control over his car.
What's crazy is I wasn't even going that fast.
I know you weren't.
Everybody was going slow, and it was like, this is outrageous. And it was raining mad hard to the point where I think either you or Dave was on the phone. I was like, I don't even know how y'all could hear the person on the phone right now. That's how bad it was raining.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I changed cars. I hope like that's not the reason you end up changing cars. But I'm telling you right now, that was.
Oh no, I just kept the.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you're talking about the Camry or you're talking about your Highlander?
No, because the Highlander was my mom's car.
Okay.
Remember?
Oh, and you used to.
I had another. No, the Camry I gave my mom isn't the same Camry.
Yeah, I know you didn't give her a 97 Camry.
Yeah, obviously not. So the Camry I had, I just kept it until they eventually just broke down on me at like 350,000 miles.
Yeah, you're gonna reach a point where you're just like, man, I just wanted like a safer car, because you're, especially in Atlanta when everyone's driving so horribly, you're inevitably gonna get in an accident.
I've never gotten one though.
Inevitably gonna get in an accident.
I'm gonna say that I'm
like 50, it took Peter 3 weeks, then he got to total the car.
That's that was the craziest thing when that happened.
Yeah.
And then the other thing they did outside, that was crazy too.
Word.
That was outrageous.
It actually blew. It was so wild that for a while my brain didn't think it was possible, so I just refused to believe that it was happening.
Oh my God. That was. But I don't drive a stick, so I probably would do the same thing too.
Yeah.
The first time I had a stick, I would probably do the exact same thing.
Word. Now I'm more careful when I park on slopes, just because I don't want my car to drive away.
Yo.
The car just wasn't there. I was like, yo, why is your car facing a brick wall?
You know what's so crazy? When I was looking back at it, I was like, I saw his car. But I didn't know it was his car out the window. I just saw so I was just like, I'm just assuming. And the fact that the man came to our door.
So we're just watching YouTube videos. It's like me, Peter, Davis, you, Waleed, and Joseph, who lives with Peter. And someone knocks on the door, and we're like, oh, we don't have any visitors coming. Did someone order food?
And it was late too.
Yeah, it was late.
It was late.
We opened the door. Our neighbor's like, oh, hey, neighbor. And at the time, I was actually holding my bow and arrow. So he was like, oh, this guy's definitely weird. Just holding a bow and arrow in your crib. And he's like, do you know whose car this is? And he points to his house, and there's just a gray Mustang facing, what do you call it? Like an island that enters his driveway. It was like one of those statues. And it was and I was like, bro, what the fuck is this car doing there? My brain didn't really compute what was happening for a while. And I was like, yo, Peter, did your car just drive off? And his car just drove off, even though the emergency brake was on. It's just like, I don't know, guys. I just feel like...
Yo.
But there was surprisingly very little damage to the front of his car. It's like just nothing, like just a little bit of paint would fix.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, that was hilarious. Was he was the neighbor like aggravated?
No, he was so chill. He was like, "Wow, we haven't even talked to you before. How are you doing?" Like he was mad cool about. He was cool about a car that hit his property, man.
Well, I mean, if anything happened,
he wouldn't have been
gonna be on Pete's bill. So. Sometimes I be thinking like that too. Like when I'm driving a Highlander, I be like dead ass like I want somebody to hit me low key. Because if I get hit, obviously not to the point where I'm injured.
That's exactly why I don't fuck with people in bad cars. Like if you cut me off and you're in a horrible car, I'll honk at you. I maybe throw a finger out, but I'm not gonna like cut you off and brake check you because you actually have nothing to lose right now.
I'll be dead ass like, yo, just hit my car so I can just go get another one. Yeah. I need a legitimate reason to why I actually need to go out and go take the time out and go get another car. And on top of that, you know, you're gonna be at least splitting the bill with me. So, you know, just give me some reason to why.
They're gonna take full blame, especially if they hit you from behind. They're gonna take full blame for it.
Yeah.
And it's not like you care about putting claims on your horrible vehicle. Fuck it. Let's just get, first of all, it's gonna be totaled.
Oh yeah, if it gets to the point where it's just straight up total, yeah.
No, if your car is worth, your Highlander's worth max like fucking $1,000, right? So
probably less.
Any damage that's done to it is most likely gonna be over $1,000. Yeah. So it's probably just gonna be a write off anyway. Yeah, my brother drove my Honda for a while after I stopped driving it. I had my Mercedes. He crashed it, and I just got a beautiful check for it.
Jeez. But I want to know. I want a Target 18-wheeler just to hit me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking y'all to court. I want all that money. Matter of fact, a part of me just wants to like not even like really go to court, just so we can get behind the rooms and be like, hey, yo, settle it for $300,000. Say less.
I had some conversations like that, man.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's just settle it out real quick.
You had to do that because when I was at Long and McQuaid buying. Do they have that here?
I have no idea what you just
It's
said.
like Guitar Center or Guitar City. I don't know what you call it.
Guitar Center.
Okay, yeah, it's like that, but it's in Canada. Car is parked, my Mercedes. Now, this bitch, yes, she's a bitch, Lo, hits my parked car in the driveway. But because it's Canada and people are polite, she walked in the store and she's like, "Is this your vehicle?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm sorry, but I just hit it." Everything drops because I mean, I love my cars, bro. I spend a lot of time on them and with them.
How did she know it was your car?
There's only like 3 cars there. It's not like a populated thing.
Just going around the whole store like, yo, is it yours? Is it yours? Is it yours?
But then she told me, and keep in mind, both my vehicles have a lot of carbon fiber. You can't repair that. You just have to replace it. It's probably the most expensive thing next to Alcantara. And so ideally, you never want to touch it. Anytime you damage it, it's at least $2,000. So, and that's not even including the wrap or the paint or any damage you did to the bumper. Luckily, I had a plug who was able to do it for $800, but I was thinking about like just, I could charge her $5,000-$6,000, but she can't pay that. So she's going to get insurance involved. That's going to put a claim on my vehicle and the value is going to go down. And it's just a ding. But the ding did a lot of damage because I just want things to be the way my car was before you dinged it. Yeah. So at first, you know how I get with my shit. I'm like, man, touch my shit. I'm taking your house. Touch my shit. Go ahead, touch my shit. But she was so nice about it. We exchanged information. So that means I had her address. So I just Googled her address. You know what I mean? Nice little house. Just to see. If she's coming for money, I'm taking her money, period. Jesus. Okay. But if she doesn't have a lot, like, I'm not a horrible human being. I'm not trying to take from somebody who already doesn't have.
So you just asked her for some money?
Oh, off the rip, I was like, I don't know what to tell you, but you hit carbon fiber. Like, that's very expensive. And she's like, if it's under $1,000, we can deal with it right now without insurance. I was like, I'll be honest with you, it's highly unlikely that it's going to be under $1,000. And so I was like, I'll reach out to you. I'll give you your phone number. You know what I mean? But then I looked at her house, man. I was like, man, it's a nice neighborhood.
What is wrong with you?
But I just wanted to see, like, do I violate or do I allow it? Right? And she actually called me a couple days later just to see, like, oh, no, her husband called. And they were so fucking polite. It was scary. And keep in mind, she had like
she hit you. What are you gonna be? No, you gonna come on the phone and be like, "Hey, bro, I heard you trying to muscle my woman." Like, that was you gonna
No, they didn't have to say nothing. I know a lot of people that would have just hit and drove away because there's most parking lots, especially that one. There's no cameras there. She could have just gotten away with it, but she stopped and didn't get away with it. And her kid was there too. Anyway, I didn't ever call her and tell her that I wasn't gonna file anything about it. But I I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that to her. So I just lived with the scratch carbon fiber, knowing that my car was no longer perfect. But then at that moment, I realized like your car is actually never perfect. There's always something gonna be wrong with it. Whether one tire's fucked up, the rim was scraped. You know what I mean? So
I think I've done that though as well, where somebody just hit me in the back and I was like,
fuck it.
No.
I was on some fuck it shit. I'm like, whatever, it happens.
Oh no. I was like, hey, yo, slide me a couple $100 real quick. Slide me.
They do it?
Yeah. I've dead ass done that too, because people will easily give you a few $100 before they'll,
Oh yeah, because they don't like the insurance. They don't like getting insurance
because it'll end up costing them more in the long run too. But I've done that to an older man too. Older man hit me and I was like, man, I don't know, man. Man, that paint is really messed up there, man. I was like, that's at least $300 off rip. And he was like, all right, we can go to the bank right now. And I was like, all right, I'll find you right down here. Right. Chase? All right, right there. We go right down there.
Yeah.
Just gave me $300.
That's
and
tough.
I never fixed it either.
Yeah, my mom did something like that too. And she didn't fix it either.
Yeah,
until she legally had to, because in Canada, you can't actually drive with a fucked up car. Even if like your bumper is pushed in. Here, they don't care. But in Canada, they'll give you a ticket for that.
It was so minimum, like it was just almost.
He still gave you $300 for that?
Dent, yeah.
Oh man, you hustle him.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this paint, the dang man. And then I think what really made it worse is that we pulled over to the side on a public road. See, if you do it in the States, if you get into an accident like what she did in like Walmart or Guitar Center or whatever on your car,
yeah,
the police, technically speaking, they don't have to do anything because
really?
it's private property.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, but if it happened on a public road and y'all pulled over, the longer you pulled over, the more likely a cop will eventually pass by and they'll just automatically pull over to see if everything's okay.
Of course they do. Yeah.
So then he was really trying to like rush it to like, let's hurry up and resolve this before
the cops get here.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah. Every accident my mom got into, she just handled it before insurance. Insurance is the worst.
Insurance is the worst. The worst thing, especially since they don't really take care of everything, yet you pay for
it. They just look for any reason to not give you money.
Every single month you pay for it. By the end of the month, by the end of 1 year, you've already paid. Well, depending on how much you spend, but you at least paid over $2,000 on insurance, and then they don't even like cover it. Dumbest thing in the world.
Very.
Going back to the quarantine though, I've been doing nothing really.
I can't imagine you've been doing shit, to be honest with you, because you don't. I haven't even heard like your TV mad loud.
No,
because usually I'd at least hear that.
At least I did. I'm working on a video right now, but outside of that, and also sent over another video to my editor. Outside of that, yeah,
I feel like
chilling.
I'm saying
and resisting my temptations.
Bro, I feel you on that.
Yeah. I actually might go tonight too. That's what I was like, hey yo, man, when you came over to the pod, I was like, oh my god, you're messing up the temptation vibes, bro.
I feel you on that, man.
But I guess it might be for a reason. Maybe I shouldn't be simping. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like, man, now it's already late. If I go down there, it'd be way too early in the morning. That's OD. That's just doing too much. And then I'm trying to hurry up and get this video done because the people I had resourcing it for me, they messed up. So now I'm all behind.
Word. So, yeah, you gotta get that video out.
That's what I'm saying. So now it's probably just signs telling me, don't simp. Don't simp, man. Just go ahead and
But you texted back though.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
and I did say I was coming.
Oh man, yo.
But no, I said I was coming before you did that.
Oh, okay.
And so then I said, something came up, like maybe I might not be able to make it. And then she was like, oh, it's another girl. I hate when they do that.
Yeah, every time.
Dumbest thing in the world. I'm like, no, I'm actually working, so no.
Yeah, like I can get a text from my guy friend and then, so who's that? And I'm like, man, it's his name. It's like, yo.
But the thing is, I haven't told her that I do YouTube.
What? Is this a different person? You never talked about her?
No, this is the older one. How
the fuck does she not know? She been at your house. I mean, she been in the basement, right?
Yeah.
And she still doesn't know?
She just think I'm an accountant. That's my bluff. That's the bluff. That's the bluff. That's the bluff.
No, you.
That's the bluff.
I wish I could still do that. In uni, I used to do that. Where like I'd be like, yeah, just come back to my crib. Be like, we got 2 hours till class anyway. Fuck it. And then, but the problem is when they come to the crib, So it's good with the green screen and the microphones. You know what I mean?
Oh, but my microphone is in the
yeah,
other room.
exactly. So you can hide it.
Yeah,
But for me, like, this is impossible. There's no psychopath that'll get all this stuff. That's not like working with lights and cameras. Like, I got way too much shit here.
Exactly.
So I can't do that line no more. Unless I just never bring him here.
Or at least not in this room.
Nah, I'd bring him in this room. There's nothing to do in my bedroom.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have a TV.
Not a single
yeah, that is right.
activity to do in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so the reason I called it an emergency podcast was because the quarantine is getting wild. Yeah. And New York is the epicenter of this thing.
What?
Very badly. Like New York
is?
New York has more than half the cases in the whole country.
What?
Yeah, people do not give a fuck in New York.
Oh my
and who lives there?
God, Phantom lives there.
So
and Waffle Man and Too Cool.
Okay, you gonna list the city?
No, I'm just saying, like, hey, y'all need to stay inside. Yo, tell y'all people out there in the boroughs to stay inside. Yo, I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah, out of the amount of people I talked to from New York,
and
I'm capping, like, there's plenty, but at least 4 or 5 people I talked to where they're like, it is what it is, man. And I'm like,
oh no, I've talked to a lot of people who are just like, oh man, it's not that big of a deal.
And I'm like, yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. And because you think that we're actually not gonna be doing this for a month, it's gonna be 6 months now. Just because you think
that, it's
gonna
be longer than that.
Me too. I dead think it's gonna be 8-9 months.
Yeah.
And that's assuming
crazy.
At some point people care. And it's hard with the fucking president's convincing people that this shit is not that serious.
But that's I don't know if I told you, but I've been saying it to people, like, bro, in America, they for whatever reason, people are just so hell bent on this concept of just like freedom and liberties and like having rights, and I'm like, to the point where like y'all are willing to just cut your nose off despite your face and just decide to just go outside because y'all want to be free.
There was an old dude on Fox News who was,
oh yeah, I saw that too.
You saw that shit where he was like, I'm old, but I'd rather have people going outside and being American than. I'm like, oh my god.
And then Tucker Carlson straight up just said, so you don't mind if you just pass away? And he was like, so so there's more things you're concerned about rather than you passing away since you're old. He's like, well, I'm like, no, you're an idiot. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. If everybody just stop what they're doing and just chill out for a smooth 2 or 3 months, we would have already been done with.
To be fair, if 0 people left their house for 2 to 3 weeks, we'd be past it. Take that in. If you just didn't leave your house for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but everybody can't do that though.
Right.
Yeah, everybody can't do that.
But I'm saying if that's all it would take.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm still getting the flu line from people.
Word.
No, it's just the flu.
Word. I mean, David's been having a lot of symptoms. It's bugging me a little bit, man. The other day he was sneezing. I was like, "You good?" He's like, "Oh, it's just pollen." I was like, "Oh."
But is it though? Because it's been raining a lot. So I don't know how much.
Me either.
Oh, nah, Davis. I don't know if that's pollen or not.
So,
and he doesn't go outside.
He doesn't at all.
He growing flowers in his house? What is he talking about?
Maybe
pollen?
he's a fucking gardener now. I don't know.
Oh, nah, Davis, no.
So AMP, we're off to a hot start. You know, boxing video hit suggested.
And how much is it?
It's at like 250 something K right now. Crazy.
I don't know why. And I told you that video's probably gonna hit 500K.
But to be fair, my videos regularly on my channel don't hit suggested. I get most of my views through browse. So in my mind, that's the framework I'm working with. The video did 110K in like a day and a half. So I was like, wow, that's fucking stellar performance. The channel hit 100K, AMP channel. But then it hit suggested, and every day was doing 40, 50K, 40, 50K. And I was like, oh, the suggested.
So you're not used to that.
Suggested. Yeah, so then we dropped the hide and seek video. Again, it actually performed similarly to the boxing video. Yeah, it did. Which is a win, because it's not nearly as jaw-dropping as boxing. Exactly. So we're like, win right there. Now, let's see if this shit hits suggested real quick, man. Because if the hide and seek video hits suggested, it's all like,
so you're not on that suggested vibe.
All like, so then in my mind we're thinking like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Phantom's in New York. New York is about to get locked down. Phantom is like, I'll drive right now. Let's record shit tomorrow. At first I was against it because I was like, I need more time to prepare because I got to get my channel ready before we do AMP stuff. But we have no options. Yeah. Right now we have 5 videos that we haven't uploaded that we recorded. So we're good for the next 5 weeks. But it'd be nice to get more of a buffer because we don't know how long this shit is going to last. Yeah. So it makes it very, very difficult for us considering we got off to such a good start. How are we going to continue when we don't live in the same house? Phantom's driving as we speak right now. Yeah. And
has the CPM gone down for you yet?
Yeah.
Mine hasn't.
Yeah, mine, like I've been getting like 7s and 8s.
No, mine's is still above 10.
That's very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow.
Wait, can you say that?
I don't know. Who cares? Tomorrow we're recording a whole bunch of A&P stuff, so that's why I'm recording this podcast now. I'm about to head. It's 3 a.m. now. About to head to sleep. Wake up. I have to record a meme video, and it's a sponsored video. So I'm gonna send it for approval tomorrow. Hopefully, it goes up the next day.
Facts.
While then, we record all the A&P videos, and I'm back on my main channel shit. Like, if everything goes flawlessly in the next few days, I'm gonna feel like a fucking champion. But it's about to be no sleep for the next 2 to 3 days, and there's like the looming. There's the looming exhaustion that is just staying indoors because of this quarantine. So it's like I kind of just want to do things outside. Like I was in a groove, man, just uploading videos, hitting the gym, making lots of gains, losing weight. I had like a nice little habit going.
Yeah.
And in 1 month I was killing it, and then boom, this shit happens. But the worst case scenario right now for me is I start to eat horribly during the quarantine, and because I'm gonna be bored a lot, I'm gonna be doing a lot of eating. So I gotta I got to make sure I'm on top of my shit, because there's a chance by the end of the quarantine, I'm a whole different person type shit.
Oh, man.
Better or worse. So I'm trying to make sure it's better. But
Bank of America claiming that we were in a recession.
It has to.
I don't know if they just want to.
It's not a recession. It's a correction right now. I think it has to be 6 months for a recession. It has to be that bad for a certain time.
But I just think they just want to be the first people to say,
guys, we did it. Recession.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be crazy if Bank of America all of a sudden, instead of actually being a bank, they just trying to hit trending and stuff like that.
S&P 500 is down, it was at 3,100, and now it's at 2,400. But it was at 2,200 the other day before that stimulus package.
Jesus.
So I'm waiting for it to drop to, if it hits 1,500, all my money, take it. And I'm just gonna wait 4 years, and it's gonna blossom into something so truly beautiful.
It's crazy, man. I don't know why people are still people are just so in denial about this, but yeah, this is about to be crazy.
Very.
And even like the whole concept, like the NBA and all the players are still like trying to be optimistic about how the league is still going to.
It's not. And
I'm like, I don't know what world y'all live in, especially since y'all are saying by like September, but like we're already in April, and April, May, June, July, like you will already be, by the time it comes back up, like it'll be done. Even if you were to try to pick it back up later on in the year, it's dead already. Like, so then you'll be starting the next year behind. Like everything will just be behind.
Yeah, it's gonna have. We've never really had a virus breakout like this in North America. But think about it. That's the worst thing that can happen to a country. The worst. Mm-hmm. Think about all the money they spend on war and the defense budget. Yeah, you have to, because technically, if you don't have the threat of being reckless America, people are gonna attack. Yep. Right. So you have to spend that money, but then nobody's spending money on protecting from the worst case scenario. Because even if there's a war, you could still go to work and reasonably believe, unless you live in like New York or DC, that you're not gonna get bombed. Like you're probably gonna be fine. True. But in a pandemic, you have to be home, which means you're not buying things. Think about fossil fuels. One of the most conservative investments, plummeting. I couldn't imagine a situation where fossil fuels aren't being used. But because no one's going outside, the need for gas has plummeted. So it's like everything we knew about the ebbs and flows of the economy, we've never actually dealt with this before. So it's like, I think it's going to get way worse.
What do you think they're going to do? Because apparently what I heard now is that the $1,000 that they were talking about, it wasn't like for a month. It's for like one time. But it's like, if they give you $1,000 just one time, like, what are you supposed to do with that? What does that do for you?
It's so interesting, very interesting, and we're mishandling it to a massive degree. As people who don't care, and also just generally speaking, the government is just like, wow. Man.
I don't know what's gonna happen, because staying inside the house,
it's very fucking frustrating.
Because even the stuff we talking about, because I don't think we'll be affected, but not to the extent of like, I'm just thinking about like people who because like my brother. He doesn't. They got him on unemployment now because they just start cutting people off. Yeah,
he got fired.
Not technically not fired, but unemployed. Sounds like if everything happened, if everything goes back to normal, they'll immediately hire them back. That's what I'm saying.
That's very tough.
Yeah. So people are just losing their jobs, and like they don't have like. Imagine if you. That's crazy. Imagine if you.
So then think about a situation where a career high level of people is just automatically being unemployed.
Exactly.
People aren't spending money or going outside. What are you going to do? Just artificially prop up the economy for oblivion? How low can the interest rates go? How much stimulus packages could you throw out before you just go into crazy debt?
How are they going to do that?
They won't. Eventually, they're going to give up and realize. But the thing is, I don't think they're worried about a recession. This might be depression. Like, I'm not an economist or nothing like that, but I'm just trying to imagine the next 8 months where nobody spends anything. That's a depression. You can't get worse than that. People aren't spending. For economy to work, people have to spend. And when people aren't spending, the government can try and spend on their behalf, but that only goes so far. You can only be in so much debt. Crazy.
But I just want to know like what they're going to do, because even the what was that clip from that went viral on Twitter where the man was like in a city hall or town hall or whatever, and they were having a conversation about
in Florida.
Yeah, and
the black dude that was yelling at the old white lady.
And I like, so A, that was crazy, but B, like in the grand scheme of things, like what does happen to like everybody else who doesn't have the money to just properly just be able to function in their household within the next, like maybe you have enough money for like a month, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But as soon as it goes into like July and August, like at that point, like what do you do?
I mean, what happens in every recession or depression? People lose their homes. People go homeless. People have to downsize. They have to sell anything they can to survive until they can find a position, like another job. Like, it's gonna be ugly.
But if nobody is even hiring, like you said, it's one thing where jobs just aren't available like at the same rate that they once were before. But it's another thing where people are not even hiring because legitimately no one is spending anywhere near as close the amount of money that they used to spend.
It's a very tough situation, my guy.
I know.
And there's what's the way to fix it?
Well, the concept is putting a halt on like rental property and stuff like that, or mortgages and stuff like that, so you don't have to pay your mortgage payment.
Who's gonna lose? The banks. Yeah. And do you remember in 2008 when the banks royally fucked everybody?
Yeah.
Who got bailed out? The banks.
I'm not saying the bank isn't going to. More than likely, the banks will get bailed out.
Yeah, but it's like so the government ends up having to pay for it.
Oh yeah, I understand.
And that means we're gonna have to end up paying for it.
I understand everything you're saying. I'm not saying it's not going to get paid for.
So
it clearly will get paid for one way or another. But what I'm saying is, from now until then, there has to be something that they do, and I don't think United States has ever seen something to this severity.
Never.
So I don't understand like what's going to happen.
Pause for a moment. Think about in a hypothetical fantasy land, because there was a case where there was Ebola here in the United States, and they contained the fuck out of it. And at the time, nobody gave a shit. But I was one of the only people like, hold on, there's a disease right now in the country that has a 40% chance of killing you, and nobody cares. This is like a 3% chance, and unless you're immunocompromised or old, the chances you die is very, very unlikely.
Yeah,
but still possible, and you might have like permanent lung damage. There's many different potential outcomes, but it's like it's the first time we're dealing with it here. But think about how often China, every like 15 years, China's dealing with a new one.
But the thing in China is the way the government's set up, they can legit just lock people down.
Yeah. But it's not just China, because you might think China's like authoritarian, so that's why when they do a lockdown, everyone has to obey it. Korea, same thing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
They did a lockdown, it worked. Japan, same thing happened. They did a lockdown, it worked. I mean, then Italy does a lockdown, and it works, but
by the time Italy did it though, it was already,
too late.
Yeah, it was already numbers.
But here the problem is nobody cares. So then if nobody's following the rules, they have to hand out $5,000 fines, no cap. Because most people can't afford to pay that. No, but you can't hand out $5,000 fines if people's like they got to make money somehow, but then they can't be outside because they're gonna make the situation worse.
No, they're just allowing people. They're still allowing people to go to work and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not like you can't. Who's that?
It's Phantom. It says Phantom with the cannon.
Sure it is. No. They're not gonna allow. They're still allowing people. I think they're calling like necessity workers or whatever.
Yeah.
People who have to go to.
But that's fine. I'm talking about like let's say you worked at Walmart.
They're considering that necessity.
Oh, I guess because they're a grocery store.
Yeah,
it's not a grocery store in Canada, so that's why it didn't connect for me. Let's say you work at Chipotle. Now they might still be open for takeout, but they're definitely gonna fire some people.
Yeah, they're cutting people hours and unemployment and stuff like that. Yep.
So, in the midst of
but the difference between fire and unemployment, if you file for unemployment, you still get paid by the government.
How much do you get paid? Do you know?
You get paid. I don't know. It's like a percentage of whatever you used to make.
Okay.
And then it just goes on however long. But if you're filing for the pandemic, they'll just keep you on unemployment for however long the pandemic lasts.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So amidst like all the madness, there's like the dude who owns Alibaba who like donated a ton of masks. And actually, my mom was telling me about it on the phone because Ethiopia got some of it and they live there. And then there's obviously Bill Gates who's donated tens and tens of millions to help stop situations like this. And Elon Musk is actually like trying to produce the N95 masks in some of his facilities because there's a huge shortage of them. So that's a lot of love right there. So it's kind of cool to see, like, I know we kind of just like talk about like the things that's tearing us apart, but there's plenty of people who just, especially
there's people trying,
billionaires that is trying to fix things. And then there's a Sixers owner who's like, do I have to pay my owners? Do I have to pay my employees?
The dumbest thing I don't know if y'all know this, but the Sixers owner was literally saying that he's going to cut some of his salary employers by 25% and funnel that money to his hourly workers. So I'm like,
like as if like he was about to run out or something.
Yeah. First of all, you're the owner. They're not owning it. You're owning it. It's your responsibility to pay it. But B, the concept of an employee paying your employees, that's just the dumbest thing in the world.
Very.
And the same thing, like, and I get like the NBA players will like say, I'm gonna donate part of my money towards the what you call it. Okay, that's cool, that's fine, and I'm not, if that's what you want to do with your money, it's your money. But at the end of the day, it's not their responsibility
at all.
It's not their responsibility. It's not what they're supposed to do. If you want to do it, cool. But the people that we should be hearing from are the owners.
And it's scary how many players stepped up before the owners were like, oh, okay, this is a bad look. I'll cover some too. And
I don't even know if they thought it was a bad look. They were probably just thinking to themselves like, oh, you got that for me? Bad. Much love. Much love, D. Mitch. Much love.
And so of all the owners, the only one that publicly stepped forward and showed a lot of love was Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
And I respect him to the nth degree. Like, I have a lot of respect. He's not only is he an incredibly smart person who took advantage of the opportunities he had when he had the opportunities, but he's managed to stay relevant over the course of 2 decades. And I don't always agree with the things he posts, but he seems like an inherently good person looking to do good in the world. And that's like an infectious type of positivity. And you see it even when he's on the sideline at Mavs games. And so like today, Mark Cuban for president was trending. And I just saw like a whole lot of people hate. I was like, yo, what has Mark Cuban done to you? So I clicked on one of the losers' fucking profile who's spamming like Mark Cuban hate. And it's a fucking Rockets fan.
Oh,
yo, what are you doing, bro? Are you fucking bored?
Oh,
like I don't know if he needs to be the president, but he seems to be way more logical than the fucking president.
Can we talk about that too, though?
What?
About what Daryl Morey said in the beginning of the season.
About China?
Yeah. Because it's very interesting how all that still kind of ties back to where we are right now.
How does that tie? Remind me what he said. He said
he said that the way that they were treating their citizens.
Oh, the Hong Kong protests. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. I don't know why, but like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. China's strategies might be working because I want to visit China one day.
No, I don't want to. Stop. It was weird. The way that the NBA
There was no garbage.
There's no line.
Yes, I didn't want to throw it.
The way that the NBA, the way that they handled them, kind of been back and forth about it.
No, they handled it perfect. They handled it perfectly.
Yeah, but in the beginning of the season, what they did with the whole Daryl Morey comment, what he said was correct. It's not like what he said
100%.
Yeah, but the fact that he was immediately silenced because of the financial power that China has really across the whole world.
Word.
It was concerning, and just for us now to hear that a huge reason why the virus has gotten to where it's at right now is because when the doctor originally found out about it, he was silenced because obviously they didn't want him to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that for whatever, and then what's even crazier is the following weeks after Daryl Morey made that statement, when there were certain players who were questioned about it,
like LeBron
was questioned about it, and he said even what he said was kind of weird and kind of off-putting. But then they would ask like James Harden and Westbrook.
Oh, I didn't hear their responses.
There wasn't no response because
they ignored it.
No, because there was an NBA representative.
Oh,
who straight up said, "Next question."
Tough.
So then it was like, okay, that's very weird and off-putting. But just for it to kind of get to where we are right now is extremely crazy. Obviously, the correlations it's not exactly the same, but still the concept of how that government treats their citizens, and one of the citizens knew about the virus way before everybody else knew about it, and then immediately that's how it got spread out, and because they were trying to silence him.
To be fair, I feel like even if something like that broke out here, even though it won't, because not that it won't, but it's way less likely because there's no like wet markets. Like that stuff doesn't exist here. There's a lot of it in Africa and there's a lot of it in Asia. And that's why a lot of viruses start there, is because when you have such a combination of fucking random animals laying together, it's only a matter of time before some fucking virus that can infect humans goes crazy.
True.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I feel like even if something like that broke out in the United States, they'd do their best to keep it quiet too. I'm not gonna lie, because they wouldn't want to panic people. Like even Trump, what did he do? He didn't want to panic nobody because he wanted the economy to stay like this.
But the way that
he minimized it.
But the way that it was spreading at the time was so outrageous.
But they figured they didn't know that it was going to be so hard to detect, right? Because think about the last virus that broke out was Ebola, and it wasn't transmittable until you saw symptoms. And so there was very little chance that you had it, didn't know, and gave it to somebody for the most part. So it was easier to control. When you don't know that you have it and you can give it to people, man, it's impossible to stop something like that unless you just start locking shit down.
But Trump's response wasn't acceptable either, though.
It wasn't. But
so what I'm saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but I'm saying in general, all that stuff wasn't acceptable, regardless of it was in China or here. None of that stuff was acceptable. So all I'm saying is, it's just interesting how everything is kind of like getting back to like people being silenced. Yeah. And then everything could just be, I don't know if it would be, gone at this point, but it definitely wouldn't be to the height of it where it's at right now if people were just given the opportunity to just say what's really going on, or just take it way more serious than what they're supposed to. And
think about like the different ways it was handled. In China, they were building hospitals in 8 days and 10 days trying to manage the crisis. And here, do you see hospitals being built?
Nothing.
What do you see being done? All I see is a lot of charitable people giving, trying to help out the situation because they know that it could potentially be catastrophic.
Exactly.
I don't see nothing crazy happening out there, and there should be.
Yeah.
But there's nothing happening though. So it's like, that's why they were able to contain it.
And I vividly remember when it first started happening, like in the area we're in, and people were just getting it left and right. Yeah. And people were still like, okay,
well, fuck it, let's go to Waffle House.
We just keep going, and then. Literally, it was like a story broke that it was like really bad in a Waffle House near us. Yeah, and then people were still just going
to that exact Waffle House.
What are y'all doing? Yeah, and Waffle Houses around here are everywhere like gas stations, so you can just literally go up and down the street
to any other Waffle House.
Makes no sense. There's literally like 3 Waffle Houses around us within like a 7-mile radius. Mm-hmm. Why not just go to another Waffle House?
That's a good question.
So I had to say, y'all got to chill out, bro. I got to say this way more serious.
It was also very unlucky because at the same time it was just starting to spread, Chinese New Year hit. And Chinese, I don't think you guys really know how big it is here because there's not a lot of Chinese people, but it is fucking big. Like we celebrated it in Canada, right? Like often, like we would get those like red cards and it'd have a coin or some money in it because they just hand out money in Chinese New Year. And I had plenty of Chinese friends, so we just like, happy Chinese New Year, gong hei fa choi or whatever.
Here we had spring break and all that.
It's exactly like that, but to the nth degree because a lot of people travel to and from China and back and forth to different cities within China.
Oh, people were traveling from their home state to
Florida. But I'm saying
Florida hit Miami.
Put some 10X's on it, but it's kind of like that.
I'm pretty sure.
A lot of people were like, I'm glad it was spring break because if school's going on, it'd probably be way worse. I was like, nah, because the spring breakers do not care, yo.
Because it was literally 20-some-year-olds saying like, I'm young, ain't gonna really affect me like that.
And I'm like, oh my God.
And that was crazy. That was at a point in time where we all thought like, I guess young people aren't gonna be affected like that. Yeah. But now every single time we get more and more information, it's like, no. Even if you're young, there's a huge possibility that
not huge, but small,
there's enough of a possibility.
A sizable.
Okay. A sizable possibility.
A probable.
That something like an effect is going to happen to you to where it can just last for an extended period of time or potentially even for the rest of your life.
Like, bro, and they go back like their grandma's at home and they go back. Like you're going back and your grandma's at the crib, man. What are you doing, bro? Cut it out. So,
crazy, bro. Crazy.
Very crazy.
People out there with asthma just saying, fuck it.
So
y'all stupid. Yeah. What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all, bro?
Like you're allergic to pollen, bro. Relax.
Yeah. Like people with allergies who would already be flaring up right now.
Like, trees and grass is taking you out, my guy. Trust me, you don't want respiratory issues.
Yeah, and then literally saying like, oh no, I'm young. You got the lung of a 75-year-old. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's wild, man.
You got an asthma pump every single time you do a good lap around the grocery store. Chill out, bro.
Come on. That's wild. And if you smoke regularly, then we got to talk about that too. What like this? I was talking to Phantom about this, and he couldn't relate. But because you
should have told Phantom to give me get the bodega.
Nah, because you don't want to hit a bodega in New York right now. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
But I was asking Phantom
should, though, because if anything, those are the people who are going to lose. The little mom and pop shops.
Yeah,
they're gonna lose a lot of money.
No one's worried about money right now. They're worried about not catching Roni. Well, no, people are worried about money.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I'm not worried about you making money. I'm worried about.
Oh yeah, I get that.
I'm worried about not catching it myself.
But they're people. They definitely concerned about money.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mom and pop shops.
Without a doubt. But I was telling Phantom, like, yo, isn't it crazy that, like, for the first time in my life, like, I'm waking up with the looming threat of death. And he was like, and Phantom just told me, like, it's normal to me, but like in a different way. But he was like, yeah, like, cause where he grew up, that's just something he had to do with. But unless I went to the hood, like, I never had to worry about dying. But now I'll wake up and be like, man, if I hit Walmart, like right now, I'm increasing my odds, and I'm not trying to increase my odds. I just stay at the crib.
Significantly, you're increasing your odds too.
So it's so interesting that, but it's like it almost feels like an apocalypse, even though it's not though.
I actually might just be an Uber driver.
Why?
Oh, apparently they're surging almost every.
That's fucked up.
Every hour on the hour they're surging.
That's wild, man.
But it makes sense though.
And they have to do it because Uber is right now not a profitable company, and in the face of a potential recession, depression, they could potentially just go out of business. And I know they're struggling right now because they removed their delivery fee.
Oh, they did?
On Uber Eats.
What?
And they gave me a notification about it. So that means people aren't comfortable delivering.
I guess they need to re-download it.
Yeah, I mean, I had to.
But can't you just say, just leave it at the door?
Yeah, they actually just made an option for that right now.
Oh,
where you can click a button to say leave it at the door. So,
oh man.
Yeah, it feels apocalyptic. I remember I always fantasized about an apocalypse because you'd watch the zombie movies and you think to yourself, like, man, if I was there, like, I would survive and I'd do this. And you watch the movies and you fantasize about the shit. I had a dream one time. It was young, when I was like 10 years ago maybe. And I vividly remember this dream because it felt like it lasted years. Has that ever happened to you where like a dream just lasts so long it feels real? Like that's reality?
No.
It happened to me, man.
You went no, just I was gonna say something.
And so we started off, just like 20 of us, zombie apocalypse. Years go by. We're like on the third year, and like every 4 or 5 months we go on a run for food or something like that, and a couple people won't come back. And
how do you remember this?
I don't remember dreams ever, and the fact that I remember this one is my most memorable dream. Yeah. We just lose people, and there was nothing fun about it. There was not a single interesting or fascinating thing about being locked in a place, and every time you went outside, you didn't know if you were gonna come back. And luckily for me in the dream, I was surviving. But my family members and my friends that were with me and the crew that I was with, they just kept dropping off like flies. Every few months we'd lose somebody. And I haven't really felt depression before, but I reckon it has to feel what I was feeling in that dream. Because I woke up with...
You dreamt depression?
I had to have. I don't know what the feeling was, but life felt like empty and hopeless.
This man said he dreamt depression.
I felt absolutely lifeless. And even when I woke up, I was still like, I woke up and I was like, man, fuck zombies. This shit is not cool. I'm never going to sit at lunchtime and talk about who's going to survive the longest because that shit is corny. Nothing about that is like fun. And not that I'm getting that vibe right now, but I'm feeling like 5% of what I felt like in that dream. Because technically, for now, like I could still drive and go outside. It's scary that most things are still open. But there's gonna be a time where
they're shutting a lot of things down way earlier.
But that's in Atlanta, not in Metro Atlanta, which is like, all right.
Wait, what?
In Atlanta, I think what day is it today? I think on Friday they're shutting shit down, non-essential stuff. But in Metro Atlanta, I haven't heard anything.
Shutting down, like never, like not opening it up again.
Yeah, like the stores are gonna be closed. Everything is gonna be closed, so people stop going out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I was like,
oh my goodness.
Actually, it might not be a demand. It could have been a suggestion. I could be wrong, but I read it. So we're going to have to double check that.
That's tough. But I'm talking about just stuff is closing earlier. Like things are closing at like 7, 8 o'clock now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
100%. So
crazy.
yeah, after that dream, I kind of just lost any interest in participating in any situation like that. So the fact that like now I'm waking up and I can't go outside without like risking, not just for me but for other people too. That's a little scary, man.
I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of scary. I don't know, bro. Because I'm constantly just thinking about like the regular people who just have like regular jobs and who who like barely survive in anywhere 9 to 5. Like what's gonna happen to them?
And unlike the subprime mortgage crisis, it's actually not their fault, because you could make a very good argument. Why did you get the subprime mortgage? Like, granted, maybe you didn't know, but don't sign up for a loan that you're not 100% sure that you could just rent. Rent. You don't rush to buy. That's crazy. So in that crisis, the banks are 100% at fault for being wild enough to lend people that money knowing they were going to default.
Exactly.
But also the people have to take some responsibility for agreeing to that loan, even though it was very predatory. Right now, the mom and pops, they didn't really do nothing to deserve this.
Nothing.
At all. So it's even more like
people just
unjust.
Literally woke up one day and was like, there's not a job for me to go to. There's no school for me to go to. Like, it was just literally either this last Monday or the Monday before that. It was like, no, we're just shutting it down. And the fact that they're contemplating shutting down a lot of stuff in Atlanta, that's scary, bro. That's very scary. So that means, but I can't imagine that they would just allow just thousands of people to go homeless.
That's every recession. If you talk to,
but maybe not to this scale though.
I mean, we don't know what the scale is yet, depending on how bad it gets. And now, I'm not going to speak for all homeless people, but there's plenty of people that's homeless now because of what happened in the last recession.
Oh yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is, I see what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, even from the last recession, if the unemployment rate raises to the point where I think it's going to raise to,
it will.
So then, no, that'd be worse than
it could be. It could 100% be worse.
Yeah, that's
at all points. Have we ever had a pandemic lead to a? No, most of the time it's like the .com bubble bursting. It was a bubble. Yeah. It was just speculation that caused that. In 2008, it was predatory banking that caused that. Mm-hmm. There's always something new that causes the recession. But to think that a viral outbreak would be the reason why, fucking insane. Yeah. Insane.
I'm happy because this is the because we're not going to get affected that much by it. At least not to the point we scared about making like house payments and stuff like that, or rent payment.
No, not financially. We'd be all right.
But I mean, even for us, like even if the CPM does continue to go down, I'm assuming views will at least go up a little bit. So I'm just So I'm happy that I made this decision, because I definitely feel like if I was still working wherever else I was working, I definitely probably wouldn't even have a job right now.
So isn't it the interesting thing when we ask for loans and stuff? I get so much pushback because I don't have like a generic job. But it's those 9 to 5 jobs right now. Those are supposed to be the real secure jobs. Mm-hmm. People are losing those, and I'm not losing mine. So it turns out my job is more secure than the bankers would previously have thought.
Way more secure.
I can't get a loan right. Like,
I know.
My credit card limit is so low, it's fucking laughable.
I know.
Because they don't trust me. Even though it seems like right now, if you do have a job that's online and you work at home, that seems to be the most secure job.
Easily the most secure.
And even if it's paid with like your main source of money is ads, you're going to see a drop, but you could still work from home and make money. Yeah. Like if you work at Guitar Center,
they probably
it's not going to be open.
Yeah,
it's not going to be open. So now you're making no money, or I guess unemployment.
Which is close to no money. That's crazy, bro. It's kind of tough. I hate to be, I don't want this whole podcast to just be negative. I don't be negative Nancy or nothing like that, but or negative Nathaniel.
I've never heard Nathaniel.
Negative. I don't want to be negative Nathaniel or nothing like that. It really put the fear in y'all. I know y'all trying to listen to the podcast and get away from it, but yeah, I mean, it's that serious. But I'm gonna save up as much as I can.
Word,
because once all this is done. You know how I'm gonna do with it.
I was spending an obnoxious amount of money, and I'd look at my statements every month. It was scary how much I would spend, and you don't even notice you're spending that much.
No, I probably would.
I didn't notice, and I could tell you right now, when I look at this month, March, when I look at my statements, it's gonna be low as shit.
Hell yeah.
I haven't spent money on shit.
I don't even think. I think outside of the one time I had when what did we go to? We went to the grocery store to go get stuff.
That's the most I spent too.
Not,
like
but not only
$100.
that. When it comes to that, I had food delivered that day. Remember?
Yeah.
I think that's literally that. And I got something the other day. I went to the little burger joint up the street. I think those are the only two places I've ate out since like the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
Word.
Crazy.
And randomly two the credit cards that I own happened to give me credit limit increases in the last week.
Oh yeah, I got mine up. Mine's gone up, and
did you ask them for it, or did they just go?
No,
hey,
they just hit my email up.
Yeah,
saying, hey,
yeah.
if you just apply for it, you'll get approved. And my same thing with my mom. They just said your
because they want people to spend.
Yeah, and your interest rate will go down. Yep.
And isn't that kind of predatory? They know a lot of people are not going to be able to pay it back, and they need a line.
Very predatory.
And so it's going to be a lot of people that end up spending money that they can't pay back. Who makes the money?
Or they just think they're going to put it on a credit card
and they can worry about it later.
Yeah, worry about it later and pay their rent or mortgage off of that, and then just keep it pushing. Yeah.
It's a cold world, man. And technically that is capitalism. But at the same time, and I think what a lot of people is realizing is that there should be like a social safety net. And granted, one of the reasons I moved here,
socialism,
yeah. No, it's not. That's not what it's called. Socialism is the extreme, but it's about finding a balance. But I
mean, there's certain things they can put in place to be a social safety net.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. But still, socialism isn't always the extreme, though.
Yes, the idea of socialism is very extreme.
But obviously, we don't have to.
So
go
if there's a spectrum, capitalism, socialism, you're saying social. That's all the way here.
Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to.
You can say
Yeah, but we already have socialism tendencies in this country.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all right, so
but it's just funny. Wait, before you said it's funny though, because like it'd be people who are Republicans who just kill Andrew Yang.
Yeah, and now
like,
they're
literally I need that Thou Wow real quick. Yeah. I need that Thou.
I wish I could vote. I'd have voted for Bernie or Andrew because they just made the most sense and they seemed less like they just said shit that made sense. They wasn't trying to win your vote.
Yeah,
they just said their policies and they let the policy speak.
Yeah.
Long story short, I moved to the United States because I save a fuck ton more money here than I do in Canada. Because Canada, they tax the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But in Canada, they also have a way better social safety net.
Yeah.
So if you don't make a lot of money, Canada's an infinitely better place to live. As long as you don't mind snow.
I mind snow.
Yeah, so if you mind snow, then don't. But it's wild that like, and yeah, you're right. We are being real negative, but it's just scary to me that if you get sick and you don't have money, you can go to the hospital and then you leave with this bill that there's no way you're gonna be able to pay it off
anytime soon.
And then these banks are increasing their credit limits, hoping that you spend more because they know there's no way you're gonna pay that back. You don't even have a job, but then you have unemployment and the government's talking about stimulus packages, but you're really not gonna get shit from it.
Nothing.
So how are you gonna make your money in the potential? I don't know how long it's gonna last before everything goes back to normal. How are you gonna do it? This is a very good question.
Well, I don't know I don't think it's gonna go back normal.
It'll go back to normal.
No. I know it's gonna go back normal, but like normal to where we were 2 months ago.
Yeah,
I think that's at least almost a year away.
I wouldn't be. I dead ass am prepared for that in my mind.
I'm being dead serious. Like where it was just 2 months ago, where people were just literally walking around carefree and not really caring at all. I'm very serious when I say a year.
Word. I've been just appreciating the small. I feel like I've done a really good job. So yeah, I'm gonna put you on. There was this Billie Eilish interview. I forgot who it was with. It was like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. But she said this like very interesting, insightful thing where she felt like while she was blowing up in like 2016, 2017, she was actually taking a lot of the luxuries in her life for granted.
Yeah.
And so she made it an effort to focus on the things that she was grateful for every single day. And it's made her a lot happier. So I watched that and I was like, that's something I've already been doing, but I made it more of like an effort. So just like I'm driving, windows down. It's fucking February, but the weather's great. It's because I'm living in Atlanta. Wow, what a blessing. Like I just like.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been thinking about now. I'm like, wow, I'm still at home making money.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Like just small shit though. Like when I did my little push-up challenge right here on the carpet, I was like, man, this is an expensive, very soft, luxurious carpet that I bought. Okay, well, I didn't even notice just how grateful I am for this carpet.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
To the nth degree, Lo, just like, wow. The fact that I could just order Life Water and like I don't have to think like, oh, I have to order Nestle because I might run out of money. man, what a fucking blessing. Like in my mind, every time I see anything of mine, like the fact that I could just tell my lights to turn a color, wild. So I do that regularly, and it's not like a tedious thing. It's more of like a habitual thing.
Yeah.
And it just made me a lot more thankful for everything.
Yeah.
And so I go to sleep just blessed that I have all of this, and I wake up hungry to get more.
Yeah.
Type.
True.
And so yeah, when I watched that interview, it kind of like gave me a little bit of like motivation to just focus a little bit more on that, because you can take and it could be like the smallest shit, bro. Like the fact that you might not be able to pay your power, but the government is not allowing those companies, or maybe society is shaming them to the point where they can't just cut it off. So you have power. The worst case scenario, you still have power.
I think they're gonna shut it off, bro.
Even if, okay, well, that'd be fucking tragic.
Because especially in like especially like even in Atlanta, like there's some counties where it's privately owned.
Yeah.
What you call it? So like I don't even know if those companies are not even big enough to where they even make the news, to where if they just start cutting people lights off, where it would be that big of a deal.
That's true.
So no.
Yeah, so I made it a habit, and I hope everyone else just does that too. And I know some people can be like, yeah, but agent, you live in like, no. I've been doing this since forever. When I lived in my parents' house and my mattress is on the floor, but I spent all my free time editing YouTube videos. It was a blessing because I had a laptop to do that. And I had the free time, and I didn't have to worry about like my parents interrupting. Like like you live in North America, most people. Like you have internet. That's how you're watching this. Think about how fucking crazy that is. I regularly.
Well, so people who just been in North America their entire life, they don't
consider that.
Yeah.
But I think that's why traveling is like real dope. And not as a tourist, as a citizen. You know what I mean? Like when you go to Jamaica, don't just go to the resort. Like go to some cities. And it's I mean it.
Be safe.
For sure.
Be safe.
Definitely don't look like a. Well, first of all, if you're. Nah, because if you're white, then they're gonna know you're a tourist.
Like, I see how to get
but
you.
When
that happened to me before too. I went to Jamaica and they knew we were tourists, and they scammed us on some.
You bought something from them and they hiked the price up. Yeah, they do that everywhere. Yeah. And it's like when I go to Ethiopia, for example, at the airport is real dangerous because they know like a lot of rich people go to the airport. Yeah. You be careful in the airport. They pickpocket you, but you gotta be real careful. Jeez. But then when you kind of like move with everybody, you're like, man, this guy's just sitting here cleaning shoes for 10 cents. And then like, yo, he's selling bread at the stand for like $1 type. And it's like, this is life. And some of the roads aren't paved. And it's like, that's how people, but when you're not there as a tourist and you're there as a person, you're like, like you want to go back to Canada because you're like, wow, I just have so much more in Canada.
Yeah.
But then you're like, wow. But then the crazy part is, Lo, I'm talking a lot, but they're all, not all, that's cap. They're smiling, though. Like, I could be playing soccer, and the goalpost is just some rocks with some people in the fucking village. I've done that. And people is smiling. They're not pissed. They don't have a top-tier turf or the greatest soccer ball. It's just some deflated soccer ball.
But I told you this before, too. It's all about your perception of life.
It's true.
So if you're just constantly around people who have internet, obviously your standard of living is much higher than somebody who just doesn't have it at all.
Sure.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So yeah, sure, they're smiling because of the situation they're in, but to us, since we're not a third world country,
Yeah, I always felt like, so I grew up in a good area, but we didn't have a lot. So I was usually like the person, like I had a lot of rich friends, but I wasn't rich. And so a lot of the time, we're like, Mom, I'd tell her this stuff too, just because I didn't really understand, like, my dad's a taxi driver, like we can't, right? But I was like, Mom, how come like we have a one garage house, but like when I go to my friend's house, like he has 2 garages. How come that's happening? And my mom would just have to explain to me like Mom, how come like they just bought a Land Rover down the street and like a 2000, the one I have in the house.
How old were you?
I was like 8. And I was just asking questions like, yo, Mom, how come like all this?
I don't think I really cared at that point. But then when I was of age.
Did you grow up around like people that had more?
Yeah, because the county I'm from is like one of the wealthiest counties in Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, because it made me jealous, even though like there was nothing to be like. There was this one person in grade 7, grade 8. I went to her house all the time because she had like a fucking trampoline and dog and infinite food, infinite snacks, and I would just go there and be so jealous because I'm like, yo, we don't have none of this at the house. I just have a fucking GameCube.
Okay, so when I was of age to be aware of that, I was again aware enough to understand the situation. So I wasn't.
Like, how old is that?
Maybe like around like 10, like not too far from what you're talking about. 10, 11, 12 around there. So not too far from what you're talking about. But when we were 8 though, I wasn't thinking about that at all. And also when I was 8, we lived in a neighborhood where there weren't that many kids, so I wasn't really.
What the fuck kind of neighborhood doesn't have kids?
I said not that many, not no.
Yo,
kids
we used to just like, hey, come to my street today, play basketball and football on the street with like 20 people. Like it was the neighborhood I used to live in was almost like 2 streets. Like it wasn't. It?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Was
like,
it where I first met you when I first came to Atlanta? Was it that house?
No.
It wasn't that house.
That's how I moved in when I was like 11, 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
But then when we went from the house I used to stay in to that house, which was a downgrade. Again, I was old enough to be aware of like what was going on.
Really?
So I really wouldn't even ask.
That's
However,
dope.
my brother was a totally different story.
He would ask?
He would ask. So it may be just an age thing, but he would definitely ask. And I'd be like, what are you stupid? Like, what are you, duh? Like, it's obvious.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to, I'll be trying to think positive. Like right now I'm faithful. I mean, not faithful. I'm thankful that, I have more time on my hands to, browse through Pornhub, see new categories.
Oh, I don't know if you heard. Premium is available for everybody in quarantine.
Everybody? I thought it was only Italy.
They dropped that shit for everybody.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been on my NoFap shit real heavy. But I might be tempted to just check it out. Like
they got crazy categories, bro. I seen categories I ain't never seen before.
Like what?
Then I had to take a break. I was like, that's weird. I had to take a break.
They got plenty of weird shit, but it's not weird once you like after you view it a few times. It's not so weird.
How would you know?
Because I see some weird shit and I'm like, let me just check it out, and it's not so weird the next day.
Nah.
Isn't that crazy? Because then you could just like
so you can watch the same thing twice.
Yeah.
I have to be really, really into it to watch the exact same video
really?
twice. Yeah.
I bookmark it like, yeah, that's the one.
But again, if it's the one, then yeah. But if it's anything lower than like a 9, it's like
and sometimes like, especially when I used to watch it like more often back in the day, I'll download it because I'm like, I'm gonna need this later. And then
see, they don't know nothing about that though.
What do you mean?
They don't know nothing about that life. About downloading.
Oh, you can still download it now.
I know, but they don't. Yeah, exactly.
So I'd download it, but then I'd think to myself, like, I'd just be scrolling, just editing or whatever, and I'd see it like in my downloads folder, and I'd be like, man, I'm fucking bugging. Let me delete this shit. And I just delete it, and I didn't get a chance to really, view it or nothing like that.
Man, I've been down there. I've been downstairs so much. Now I'm into like the whole I'm into the storyline now.
Oh shit! Man. Let me know if you can find good storylines because they all mad.
Yeah, they all about the same thing. I can't even like get myself off.
Word.
It's like I can't even get into this. Like
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is terrible.
On some like really opening up type shit. The cheating ones, the realistic cheating ones, those ones hit different. Not gonna because they be on the phone with their man while they're fucking this guy. And they'd be like, yeah, no.
Are you talking about like the real ones or you talking about like the fake ones?
No, the fake ones, man. What the fuck?
No, there's real ones like that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Where they on the phone and they're talking to their dude. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. See, they hit different.
But I got to the point where it wasn't really a problem.
You have a fetish for women cheating on their man with you?
Nah.
That's what that means. You like a cheater.
Don't make connections like that. Don't make connections.
Because that don't be hitting for me like that.
What hits for you?
I've already said this already.
What hits
amateur? I already said that.
Nah, that's generic, bro. Everybody likes.
How is that generic?
Because everybody prefers amateur, obviously.
How? You apparently I asked you if you just was searching the real one or the fake one, and you said fake.
I didn't even know they had real shit like that, bro.
So
I didn't even know where to look for some shit like that, man.
You gotta start surfing.
All right, okay.
I didn't even know you can have a profile on Pornhub.
Yeah, I booked that, bro.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you can have a profile.
And they'll start recommending shit to you.
Yeah. I was like, yo, Pornhub has an algorithm? Like, what's going on? I didn't even know that.
And they catch me too, bro. But sometimes they recommend me some shit. I'm like, bro, you think I like that shit?
You trying me right now? You trying me?
Like there'll be two guys. I'll be like, yo, hold on now. I know you don't think.
Hey, you look at a threesome one time, they be like, oh, you like, okay, all right. I see where you going. I see where you going. I see where you going.
Like, don't make that jump, man.
They make the jump though for you.
I know, and they occasionally they're just throwing like a category out of nowhere. Like I'm like, yo, hold on, let me just see what.
Yeah. Pornhub be like, yo, this is trending recently, so we're gonna just throw it on there.
They say that, but I don't think so. It has way less views than the other shit that's trending. I'm not sure about
they
that.
just uploaded, so they popped it.
Right. Oh,
That's
the new upload.
I legitimately
Could you subscribe to people?
I see. That's what I'm saying.
You have to be able to.
I was about to say that. No, you can.
Oh,
So that's what I was about to say. I didn't even know like the community culture around Pornhub is like very similar. Not very similar, but similar to YouTube.
Yo, the comments is hilarious.
Yes,
the comment is either hilarious or really weird. One of the two.
Yo, you can literally leave comments, subscribe.
They come clutch though. They be like, "Oh, this is her name." They know everything about the people in the video.
Playlists and everything.
Oh my god, they got playlists.
They have playlists.
Ah shit.
Montages. The next thing.
Do you remember?
What if Flight Reacts goes on?
No. What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you
remember like reacting to it?
Do you remember like 4 years ago when we were in a Skype chat with Waffleman and Too Cool, and Waffleman got a premium browser's login?
Yeah.
And all of us checked out that shit that night.
Of course, why not?
I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Why is this so fucking clear as 4K?
Yeah, I was like, this is too clear for me.
Yeah, this shit was weird.
Hey, Loki took me like out of the immersion. I was like,
it was like production cameras. They flipped to the 180 rule. It was following all the rules of cinematography.
Like, I don't need all that. That's when I realized I was like, I like amateur because I went too far over to the real stuff.
Yeah,
like,
word.
Nah, I need something a little bit more real.
Yeah, and then I kind of realized that like I didn't want to make that a crutch because it was very easy to not just talk to any females because like you could just watch porn.
But that's not.
So I did just.
If you're using porn as a crutch, you gotta get out
but
the
like,
house, even if you catch the Roni.
But I tried to not watch. I tried to not watch it, and then I couldn't. Like I watched it again like a week later, and I was like, oh shit. Like, hold on now, because that's a problem if you're trying to not watch it and you still like feel the urge to watch it.
Oh yeah, you was on.
So then I was
how
like,
old were you though?
Like in uni, bro. Like in my first year.
Oh no,
you
too old. You too old.
And so then, I went on. I went on my NoFap shit. Now I rarely ever watch that shit. Like I think the last time I watched it was remember when like the whole Earth Day stuff was going on and they were like, yo, if you watch this video, every view is like a donation. I was like, yeah, let me do my part real quick. Watch the video.
Yo, man. I want to see Pornhub's YouTube and like streaming providers, their analytics. It has to be going up right now.
Oh, without a doubt. To the point where I don't know if you just heard, YouTube is going to start making standard definition the default. So you can switch it to high definition, but there's just too much bandwidth problems. So, and like Call of Duty is having Warzone servers have been fucking impeccable until like a couple days ago. And it's because they have to start having random maintenance because there's so many people on it because everyone's home.
Jeez.
And same with Twitch. Twitch in Europe, now you, I think it went from 1440p to 1080p. You can't do 1440 no more. Just because of more bandwidth issues, just everyone's home. So yeah, they're definitely seeing a surge. And I wouldn't be surprised soon if Netflix removed the 4K UHD option. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Because that takes a ton of bandwidth. And I do it pretty regularly. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I would like to see their numbers. I'm pretty sure they jumping. At least they doing good. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let me know in the comment section what type of things I should be.
I was about to say category.
What is the thing called? Binge watching, because I don't know what.
I put you on. There's a show called Containment. It's about
like I said, like I said, people out there who listening and watching, and make sure you all.
Oh, I'll put you on another one.
Make sure y'all tell me what y'all
Altered
been
Carbon.
watching.
Altered season 2 had Anthony Mackie, and he was incredible. And I love that sci-fi future world.
So, like I said, y'all hit me up and tell me what y'all.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, Altered Carbon is the best new show out right now.
I'm not taking any recommendations from you.
But you should try it sometime.
Yeah, no.
Telling you should try it.
No.
Yeah, that Altered Carbon's really good. Containment is the virus in Atlanta, bro. Come on now. And you're gonna recognize things in downtown because they shot in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm good.
You can like it.
I just thought about something. Blueface literally dropped that album in the middle of
12K in a week, baby,
and only did 12K. He dropped the album when everybody's just at home doing literally nothing to do.
You know what Blueface said though. You know what he said?
What did he say?
He said, "When you're rich, every day is a weekend."
Oh, I thought you were gonna say "ass so fat." I clicked the link in the bio.
Ass so fat. I had to click the link in the bio.
How can you do it 12K in a week in your first week, and everybody's just literally at home? That means that when people were on Spotify put that on their homepage.
Yeah, it's not on my homepage too.
And people were still like, no.
Word.
They didn't even give you a chance. They were like, nah.
Isn't it so interesting though? That's like tough. How you could have bangers in terms of just like hits. He's had hits.
Okay.
But then they're so like short lived for some odd reason with him.
He's a one-hit wonder.
Nah, he's had hits though. Like at least like 3 or 4 songs.
I mean, maybe not specifically a one-hit wonder, but he's not somebody who's going to have a long career. I knew that.
Nah, that was not clear, bro. At first,
everything about him was a meme.
When he had that first song, that so what? 6ix9ine was a meme, and his album stole how much? It was in the six digits, right? First week.
But no, nobody wasn't memeing 6ix9ine's raps though. What he did outside of rapping was a meme.
Blueface doesn't meme like Lil B memes.
No, I'm not saying I'm not even saying he's trying to meme.
You're saying he
just became a meme because of the way he raps.
When I saw that Bust Down Tatiana song go off, I was like, oh, this is like the 3rd or 4th song the Bust Down Tatiana. Tatiana. So yeah, hold on, just be mad positive for a moment.
Tatiana.
Okay, clearly I didn't fucking listen to the song because I don't listen to Blueface.
No, Tatiana. Okay. So Bust Down Tatiana.
Yeah, when that Tatiana song dropped.
Okay.
I was like, hold on, this is like his 3rd or 4th song. So I started to listen to him a little bit more just to see what people were seeing in him. And I didn't see it, but it was kind of like a bop though. Like that Weekend song with Lil Baby, it's a little bit of a bop. Like he said, when you're rich, every day is the weekend. Bougie bitch put her feet in, bad bitches in the deep end. Party on the weekend. But it's all BS lines. But the way the beat moved, you was like, oh, that's a fact.
But even what we would consider like a banger isn't really that much of a banger
in the
grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Because Tatiana is the only one that really, really bangs like that.
Yeah.
All of the other ones, even though they were probably getting like a few million views on YouTube, for a new artist, that is a lot. But in the grand scale of things, like trying to project how well their career is going to go, like that's not that much.
Word.
Also, I figured out that Kanye in his first week on his debut album, how many albums you think he did?
Well, just the fact that you're saying this makes me believe it's like 400,000.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I would have guessed like 150.
441,000.
That's unbelievable.
In his first week.
That's
on his debut album.
That has to be a record, right?
No.
People have done more on their first debut album. Because some people do wait a while to do their debut album. Like Chance did a lot of mixtapes before he ever dropped the album.
Like Jay Electronica.
And surprisingly, he did like 26K projected, which is not great. But honestly, I was expecting like 15K. So.
Oh man, I don't know. It has to be up there though for a debut album first week.
Yeah,
he almost went gold in his first week on a debut album, and he was rapping about things that other people weren't rapping about that time.
I remember.
That's legendary.
I remember I was a huge Lupe stan, so I'd see like I remember Lupe and him went on the Dave Chappelle show because he always used to have like music. People just close it out for the past couple minutes. I was like, hold on, man. Lupe's putting Kanye on. I like this Kanye guy.
Wait, Lupe's putting who on?
Kanye on.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
sir.
Stop. Lupe's putting Kanye on.
And then they had that Touch the Sky song that blew up, and I was like, yeah, that's because of Lupe.
Kanye had
That's because of Lupe.
God. You are one of those delusional fans. Lupe putting Kanye on. Cut it out. Cut the malarkey.
Anyway,
I have to go back and listen to a few Kanye albums.
Yeah, I do that like every 3 or 4 months. I go back and just spam one album.
Yeah, it has.
Like if it's been a while since I played like Late Registration or College Dropout, or even like I was playing Watch the Throne 2 weeks ago, and I remember I called you and I was like, "Lo, am I bugging or is this a top 3 Kanye album?" Because
I hung up the phone as soon as you said
it was just hit after hit after hit after. I was like, "Yo, shit, man, this album's tough."
I literally hung up the phone as soon as you said this is a top 3 Kanye.
It wasn't. I listened to it 4 or 5 times after that, and I was like, "It's top 5, but it's not top 3."
Maybe top 5, but it's definitely not top 3. His first 3 albums alone are better.
That's what I used to think.
Okay, let's wrap up.
That's what I used to think.
Let's wrap up the pod because you said Late Registration, right?
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the pod.
But Late Registration, it had some songs I'd skip, man. Like, wasn't that the song? Didn't they have like Mos Def had that song "Drunk Hot Girls" or something like that? Wasn't that on that album?
Graduation.
Okay, I'm wrong. But Late Registration was the one where he just spammed skits, and I get like you want to storytell on the fucking album.
But it still had like 20.
No, bro.
Even with the skits, it was still over 20 songs.
Yeah, but it puts me in the habit of skipping songs when you just have random skits in there. Even in Lupe's Tetsuo and Youth, I fucked with that album, but he just had random interludes called Winter, Summer. Or like, oh no, he didn't have a summer one. He had a fall, winter, and spring. And I was like, yo, I don't really need the interlude. I get like the whole point of like the artist. But I was like, let's get to the music, man.
But the same thing with Kendrick Lamar's
Kendrick Lamar, let's not bring him in conversation.
Look,
Come on now.
No, all I'm saying is Kendrick Lamar did the same thing on his first album.
Okay, but are we right now going to compare Kendrick's storytelling to Kanye? Are we going to compare?
No, I'm just saying you said skits because it's taking you out of the immersion of music.
But for some reason, Kendrick's skits do not do that for me. Like even in Mortal Man, that skit gave me fucking goosebumps. You know what I'm talking about? What's man, let me think of some iconic.
Let's not talk about music because you're not really, especially hip hop. You're not. I'm
dying of thirst. Remember that song?
Thirst, yeah.
The skit in that one, bang, like all the skits, they're not random. Like it doesn't feel like. It feels
they
like
weren't random in late registration.
No.
They weren't. They were literally. Oh, okay, all right, whatever.
Let's not compare, right? We're not gonna compare.
I'm not comparing, but I'm just saying your logic behind it is crazy.
I understand.
And also, we all know that Kanye is a better artist, so there's no.
Then
real
Kendrick.
Need. Yes, artist.
Cut the malarkey.
Artist.
Kanye has a bigger catalog. Facts.
I'm not saying biggest. I said who was a better artist.
Yes, Kendrick.
No, he's not. Kendrick has had one album that's artistically better than all the Kanye, all the Kanye's rest albums. Yes,
man, shut the fuck up.
Yes,
no cap.
I think you're mixing up lyrics with artists.
No. I'm talking about just in general. No, you don't know what you're talking about, bitch.
No. You
don't know what you're talking about. And it's cool. You're a Kanye stan. You're supposed to think that.
This guy right here.
But that's not the truth, though. I just need you to know that that's not the truth.
If you're talking about artistry, maybe 2. I'll give him 2. Better than all of Kanye out of, if you want to put ahead of him. But that's it. And you know it's it.
No, bro.
Yes, it is.
Cut it out.
So Damn is better than...
No, it's not.
Okay. So
Section 8 is the mixtape.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say 3. 2, I'll take it. It's facts.
But even the 2 is even one of them is debatable.
It's definitely not no fucking debatable, my guy.
It is debatable.
It's not.
One of them is debatable.
Well, Good Kid, Mad City is easily better than anything Kanye's ever done.
I don't know about easily, but okay, I'll give you that.
So, I mean,
and the other one, I don't. Even though it's To Pimp a Butterfly is great. It definitely doesn't have. It's amazing. It's immaculate. Whatever you want to call it. Because he's about to get upset because that's called. I'm
still about to get upset. So finish what you're saying.
No, but it's not. It's not. You can't replay it as much as you can.
Are you? Oh my god!
You can replay.
How could you say that?
You can replay. I'd rather replay Butterfly more than
any Kanye album.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up.
And it's not no. Let's wrap it up. It's not no. Let's wrap it up, man. It's not no. Let's wrap it up. Like when you think of the best songs of the decade. Come on, bro. All right is in that conversation. The Black or the Berry is in that conversation.
Okay, obviously, because Kanye's first 3 albums were in a different decade. So of course. Yeah, of course.
You see this bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they get you.
That's it. About to turn my shit off again, man.
That's it right there, bro. That's the thing.
That's very tough.
Look, bro. No, I get it. Yeah, it's in a different decade, so that's why. Okay. But if it was in the same decade,
no,
absolutely not.
Okay, all right, man.
You know it wouldn't be.
I'll say this.
Kanye
was a better artist.
Greater, right?
Kanye was a better artist than Kendrick in the 2000s.
Just God. But Kanye all around is just greater anyway.
He's great. Very great.
He's greater.
No, I ain't say that. You're saying that.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Because especially since he produces,
yeah.
He's greater.
All right, but then he doesn't write a lot of his shit.
Okay. I don't know about a lot, but okay.
So you're crediting him for producing, and you can't credit him for right?
I never said that.
And most of the stuff he produces is off of samples. Not that takes away.
And Kendrick can't do that either.
All right. But not to say that is like an impediment on like his, because even J. Cole, a lot of his shit is sampled too. But
it don't sound nothing as good as Kanye.
I say this: Kanye's production is A1.
And it's not just. It's not just that
Kanye's production is better than Kendrick's production, and I don't even think that's no contest.
But Kendrick doesn't even produce.
I mean, just in terms of the beats that...
Oh, yeah, it's not close.
Yeah.
It's not even remotely close.
Right.
You're not even in the same ballpark.
Right. But when it comes to flow, lyricism...
No, flow, I think they're both on par with flow.
I'd say Kanye's probably a better like performer because I seen him perform live. Actually, he just...
good too.
In the performance I saw him live, he actually in the middle of it just left. And everyone was fucking confused.
But you know what's so crazy? A lot of stuff... This is why he's great because a lot of stuff that... they doing now is because of Kanye.
That's true. He set a lot of trends for sure.
So he's greater.
That's not what it means because Kendrick also set a lot of trends.
Yeah, bro, I'm not saying he didn't.
Bro, when you saw everyone in conscious rap die out, everyone just assumed that genre was over with.
And then Kanye came back and revived it.
Conscious?
Yes.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, you crazy. So who revived it?
Kendrick.
Oh my. Okay, let's ride this up.
Kanye revived conscious rap. Are you fucking listening to yourself right now?
We're wrapping it up.
Come on, he had a fucking couple songs, bro, like Sierra Leone, the one where he hopped on with Jay. But even in that situation, Lupe criticized him for participating in the scam that is Conflict Diamonds.
Literally, in his first album has way more.
No. I'm not saying that he doesn't talk about serious issues that a lot of the times he in the context of his life that he's dealt with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're comparing like who brought that to the forefront,
who put
come on now.
Who put Lupe on? Come on.
Who put Lupe on?
Kanye.
All right. So now we're just gonna go there. We're just gonna be disrespectful now.
Because Lupe is conscious.
For sure.
But he had to have a platform to catapult himself to that point. And Kanye, when people like Kanye and Common were putting him on.
Oh, he definitely worked with Common some.
He worked with a lot of people in Chicago, and Kanye is one of them.
I know.
So,
but Kanye did not put him on, my guy.
Okay. All right, whatever, bro.
Do you remember when
all right, whatever, bro. You got it.
Yeah, Kanye, I mean, Lupe almost made me want to skateboard, bro. I was like, man, hold on now, bro. You talking about some like, maybe. Then Lil Wayne started hopping on the skateboard and shit, and I was like, whoa.
That was corny when Lil Wayne did that.
It was, but I actually bought a skateboard to try it out, and I bust my ass on like the fucking first day, and I put that shit away. I was like, fuck that. I'm just gonna ride my bike like a regular kid.
Look, bro, we're not gonna sit here and talk because I'm trying to pull up Kanye's first album.
Kanye's albums are incredible.
No, to go
one of the greatest artists of all time.
We Don't Care is conscious. Graduation Day is conscious. All Falls Down is conscious. I'll Fly Away.
Come on, bro. Conscious. All Falls Down? That's conscious to you, my guy.
I'm not saying it's the deepest level of conscious.
Listen to yourself. Listen, real quick. I want you to compare All Falls Down to like just like an average Lupe song, like
I'm not saying he makes the greatest
or like just an average Kendrick song.
I'm not saying his conscious is deeper than anybody else's.
But he talks about things of meaning. True.
Okay then.
Is that all
wait. But at the time when he was dropping that, who was doing that? Nobody.
There was plenty of people, just not at that level.
Exactly.
No one was doing it at that level.
Because hip hop was trash around that time when the stuff that he was putting out in the like from 2003 to 2008, it was straight garbage.
Nah, because people say that about every era. In the early 2000s, even though it was at the peak of Eminem, Lil Wayne, Drake, and all, hip hop is trash. Man, I hear it every three. Now you can talk to some people that say hip hop is trash, but here we have like the Roddy Riches of the world coming out of nowhere, surprising people. We got the D Smokes of the world right here. Stop. We still got the icons like Lil Wayne dropping albums.
But Lil Wayne wasn't at his peak in the early 2000s.
No, he was at his peak in the late 2000s.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Before the late 2000s came on, because also,
but that's like when 50 Cent and Eminem was blowing up.
Okay, who else?
Who else? And I don't know who else.
Okay, then.
Okay, but that's just off the top of my dome. If you're gonna say songs like All Fall Down are conscious, then that's like saying most of Eminem's catalog is conscious too.
I'm not saying it's not,
but I don't see him as that.
Man, the stuff that was being said at that time, Agent.
No, there are some songs where
it was straight garbage at that time.
Okay,
it was a lot of stuff that was straight trash. And the way that people were moving was straight trash. And no knock on Eminem, but I don't really consider him. I don't think he had enough pull in rap and hip hop to really make a massive effect as like what Kanye could. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that he couldn't make. Man, this battery about to die. Man, we gotta wrap it up now.
No, bitch, we don't wrapping it up.
We got to because the battery about to die.
Oh man.
All I'm saying is
disrespecting Eminem out loud, bro.
I'm not saying I'm not disrespecting.
You just did though.
But his influence wasn't as great as Kanye's influence.
It was. I'm telling you, it was on par. I'm telling you, Lo.
Who?
Eminem's influence was on par with Kanye.
Who else after Eminem came along and was rapping similar or had some massive influence or you can trait similar to Eminem? Which rapper?
But that's a good thing, though. He's not easy to copy. And anybody that did try and copy him came off as mad corny.
Let's wrap it up. The battery about to die, bro. Come on.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the podcast and listening to his fucking horrible opinions about rap,
wrap it up, bro.
Hey, make sure to drop a like. If you're on YouTube, make sure to go noties, man. Send that notification squad. Hey, thanks for showing love. Apple Podcast people, drop a full 5-star, man. Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Thanks for showing love. Podcast is doing better and better. I'm happy. And it is fucking 4 a.m. We're sitting here talking about rap, and I got a lot of shit to do tomorrow. So I got to head out.
God.
Any last words, though?
As soon as we cut these cameras off, your dad is going to keep this argument.
We will, because you're pissing me off. Because you said some fucking like.
No, I did not.
You did.
Okay,
bro.
all right. Yeah, Nerdy gang. Shout out to the Oxcar people still out there, sharing the podcast in the park garage.
Because you can't leave your house.
Because you can't leave the house. And we'll see you all next week. I'm pretty sure people want us to keep this going too, but
yeah, I know. Very unfortunate. We're gonna have to continue this in the next pod.
We'll see you all next week.
You better come with ammo.